Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
In particular, to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men men, it's what makes people people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from
Indeed.
you.
We'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge.
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Does your life insurance policy...
Good morning.
only pay
Here we go.
someone
Here we
if
go
you
on the air.
die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you were still alive.
That's
Due to
right.
changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted
man,
their
what a day.
premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call
Great
Debbie
debate
and
last
Dan
night. We'll
at
talk about
Will
it.
Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing
This is the last
spouses,
commercial, and we're on the air.
predators, government agencies, and the
Hey,
IRS.
Neil.
This free Living Trust seminar is Wednesday, February
Make sure you guys follow
26th from
UK
2 to
Neil.
3
He does
p.m. at the Courtyard by
great
Marriott in Boca. To
live
attend this
streams
free
out of the
event,
UK
call
with everything that's going on over there.
1-855-FLA Estate, 855
Did some really good things,
3782.
lately in regards to Princess Diana,
on iHeartRadio. Just
the
search
conspiracy
for
around her
WWE.
death. All righty, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Yes, it's another day I'm welcoming you back to. That's right, it's Thursday. Oh boy, can you believe it's Thursday already? The 20th day of February 2020, Black History Month. Welcome one and all. This is another one of those mornings where I've been up all night. I went to bed really early last night, and I got up at 2 a.m. so that I could watch the Democrat debate and do all the editing I wanted to do with the sound bites. And what a great debate it was. Oh man, what a great debate it was. Michael Bloomberg did his job for Trump. This is wonderful. And without question, Bret Baier said it last night, but I think it is obvious that the winner of last night's Democrat debate was, of course, Donald John Trump, the 45th president of the United States, who is going on to re-election this year. That's right, two-term Trump. What a great debate. Everything about it was spectacular. They're destroying each other. They're destroying each other. You know, the thing about debate, or the primaries, during the primaries, when you have, there's a big division inside the Democrat Party. There's a division. There are people who are capitalist, like Bloomberg. And then you have these communists that call themselves Democratic Socialists. There's a big debate inside the Democrat Party, and some of the things that Chuck Todd said last night were pretty shocking to me. I think Chuck Todd came out of the closet last night as a Democratic Socialist. So that debate was perfect. And when there's a primary going, perfect for Trump, when there's a primary going on, candidates, there's an old theory that I know used to be accurate. I don't know how accurate it is now. Maybe it still is. But during a primary season, which we're in now, the people that are most involved when you're not the incumbent are activists, right? Activists. And what happens with politicians is they're trying to win by 1 point if they can, and they need to get people out to vote. So what they do is they cater their message to the lunatic activist fringe of whatever political party they are in. And they go after their opponents in the primary. And these Democrat primary opponents, this is bloodier and more damaging to the reputation and character of the candidates than the 2016 election cycle was, with Little Marco and Sleepy Jeb and all that stuff. They're being brutalized, the Democrat candidates, by one another. And if Bloomberg had not entered the debate stage last night, it would not have been as brutal as it was. And I know I got somebody tagged me on Twitter. Oh, Bloomberg's not doing what you thought he would do last night. Bloomberg is doing exactly what I thought he would do. Cause division among Democrats, which we really haven't seen too much of. There's been a thing here or there, but most of the people that were infighting inside the Democrat primary left already. Kamala Harris, Tulsi isn't even up there. They're gone. The people that are left pre-Bloomberg, for the most part, have been getting along, except for Klobuchar and Mayor Pete. Those two haven't been getting along, but everybody else has been pretty much the same. And what Bloomberg did was blow the whole damn thing up and split the Democrat activist base up even more. So Bloomberg's doing a great job. President Trump did win the debate, but I think it was Bloomberg who exploded everything last night. So I'm very excited, and I hope you all are too, because that was it could not have gone better for President Trump, the Trump train, and the country than it did last night. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free number from anywhere, no matter where you were listening, no matter where you were watching, no matter what platform you were on. You can call us toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, Brian, I watched that debate last night. Bloomberg looked like a scared, frail, little old man.
Mm-hmm.
Had brown teeth.
Yeah.
The guy with $60 billion, his teeth were brown, messed up in his mouth.
Well, maybe that's why he's so rich. He doesn't spend money on beauty. No cosmetic work, no Botox, no teeth work, nothing.
He looked rotten.
Yeah.
The guy, a homeless guy on the street.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he didn't look too good.
But he was scared. He looked frail. Trump
Yeah.
was on him like a roach.
Oh, yeah. Did people yesterday think I said Bloomberg was going to win something? What I'm talking about here is he's a lightning rod, man. He has blown up the whole Democrat primary process, and they all came out at each other last night. Klobuchar after Pete, Pete after Klobuchar. They're all after Bloomberg. He's after them. We don't typically see infighting like this among Democrats. Usually Democrat primary debates are pretty mild, boring, and uneventful, and it was a cage match last night because of Bloomberg's entrance into the race, which is what we want. That's great.
Also, him and Bernie are talking about stents.
Talking about stents?
Stents,
Yeah, and the heart, yeah.
Talking about stents on the stage.
I liked when he asked Bernie, though, about his 3 houses. Well, I have one in Washington, I have one in at home, and then I've got a wood play. Bernie just thinks that everyone has three houses, including some summer house.
Got 8 houses.
So what? He's not a socialist. Bernie is a hypocrite. When Bloomberg pointed out the 3, let me play this clip. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I got this one. Hold on. I know I got this one. Hold on. I've got so many clips, it's hard to keep them straight here. I wasn't going to play anything this early, but I wanted to play. Yeah, listen to this. 3 houses, Bernie. This is Bloomberg.
Socialism. What a wonderful country we have. The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here?
Well, you'll miss that I work in Washington, house 1.
That's the first problem.
Live in Burlington, house 2.
That's good.
And like thousands of other Vermonters, I do have a summer camp.
He thinks everybody has a place where they summer. Bernie's saying he has a summer camp. Bernie Sanders thinks that everybody has a summer home. Winter, summer, fall, and spring all in the same place, man. But Bernie, everyone got a summer home. This is great. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, it's Mike and Boca. How are you?
Mike and Boca. What's up?
Debates were amazing last night.
Mm-hmm.
We got our public subs, sat down in front of the television.
Oh, you were eating public subs. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those public subs are pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, not that bad.
$5.99. You can't go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Bloomberg got destroyed. Richard, the bus driver was right. He did one thing that Bloomberg did that the crowd liked was when he went after Sanders. That was great.
Well, when you say that he was destroyed, I don't think Bloomberg was destroyed. He would have been destroyed if the election was today, but the election's not today. They got another debate coming up, and he's got all of his ads and TV interviews.
Trump was right. Trump said he's a terrible debater. And he was terrible. He was.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, maybe I'm not communicating. Maybe I'm not communicating properly. I haven't been predicting that Bloomberg would win. What I've been saying is the greatness of Bloomberg in the race is that he's blowing it up. I mean, look, when he went after Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders said he's got a summer house like everybody else. I mean, what the hell? Bernie Sanders thinks everyone has a summer home? He looked like an idiot when he said that,
When he said a summer camp, I'm thinking...
What's that about?
Camp Crystal. He's got a nice big house by the lake.
He's got a summer camp. That's not, what the hell is that about?
Crystal.
What is Camp Crystal? I don't know what that means.
The Jason movie.
Oh, Crystal Lake. Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th. Yeah. When I think of summer camps, I think of Friday the 13th, and young kids being molested by adults. Yeah, exactly, because that's what all the movies are about. The movies, summer camps don't look good in the movies. You get whacked or something. But he thinks everyone has a summer camp, like thousands of others. I have a summer camp. Listen. I know a lot of people. I don't know anyone who has a summer camp. You know anyone who's got a summer camp?
Bros there? Does he like
the Bernie bros? Maybe they go to the Camp Bernie. Who the hell has a summer camp? Trump doesn't even have a summer camp. He's got some golf resorts. I mean, but listen, when Bernie with his arrogance went through his homes, including the summer camp,
me too.
Would they have been that nasty if Bloomberg wasn't in it? I don't think so.
Biden was like a ghost. He just sat there and I think he was flat as a pancake.
Yeah, I know. Part of the problem with some of these people, it depends on what your schedule is. And these debates are at night. I imagine Bernie, Biden, and Bloomberg go to bed early like I do, and they're not used to being up at 9 o'clock at night during the week. I'd have a tough time.
Great television. That was great television.
But what made it great? What made it great was that there was so much infighting and so much destruction done. Infighting is good for Trump and bad for them. Because what happens with the infighting is each one of these losers up there on the Democrat debate stage have a strong activist following, and that activist following are Democrat voters who get Klobuchar's people are pissed off at Pete, and there are a lot of people out there I think that vote commie that say, wait a minute, he's a millionaire with 3 houses and a summer camp. They start to ask questions. AOC's not a millionaire yet. He is with 3 houses, and he said with his all right, I know, it was great. That was great. Take care. Mike and Boca with the Publix subs. Oh, man. Publix subs are big down here in Florida. Publix is the big grocery store here in Florida for you out-of-staters that listen to us out of Florida. Oh, man, yeah. That was the best debate so far. I would put that debate up there with the Trump debates so far as effectiveness in helping President Trump. All right, listen, let's take our first break of the day. It's 16 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. Let's take our break, and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and and
Good
live in
morning,
comfort. That's
everyone.
why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants. Get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you were still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors,
Hey, Sarah.
954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Feeling old, tired, run down? Struggling with your sex life or weight control? Dr. Matez can fix it. Call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management.
He did win the debate.
953-5490.
He did win.
Or visit their website at brc4am.com.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Been up since 2. I got up so early. I watched the debate, and I did all my show prep and editing, and I still had time to watch this week's episode of Star Trek Picard, which had a very interesting twist to it. Any of you Star Trek fans out there watching Star Trek Picard? Oh, My Pillow, I just announced this offer yesterday. This is a limited time offer that will end without notice, My Pillow tells me. An incredible offer. When you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, the My Pillow you can now order with the promo code KANE for just $39.99. It's a great deal. $39.99. That's right. That's right. It's a great deal. You got to use the promo code KANE. So if you have not yet taken advantage of these great My Pillow offers, just $39.99, and you can have that My Pillow, which of course comes with that 10-year warranty, will not go flat warranty. It's machine washable with that patented fill. It's the same one I sleep with each and every night. You got to use the promo code KANE at checkout at mypillow.com. If you see any other specials, no matter what the special says, you can actually take advantage of it with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. But this $39.99 deal for the My Pillow, that is a steal. Use that promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone. When you order by phone, make sure you spell out KANE, K-A-N-E, the number 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. When you use the promo code KANE, get your My Pillow for just $39.99. Wow, I know. That's no, that is not the standard price. The standard price is $57.13 actually, and you get it for just $39.99. That is not the standard price. That is the Kane price, K-A-N-E, at checkout. So take advantage of that. Support the Steve Kane Show by purchasing My Pillow. Support the most out-of-the-closet, open, pro-Donald Trump company in America, Mike Lindell's My Pillow. Again, $39.99 for a My Pillow, but you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. Yeah, and you know, when Bloomberg pointed out the 3 houses, listen to the crowd go boo. Listen to this.
Socialism. What a wonderful country we have. The best known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here?
Well, you'll miss.
See, that's interesting. Hear that? Ooh, boo. See, this is what I mean about Mike Bloomberg. Anyone point out that he was he on a box last night? I don't know. Hear that crowd? Boo. You see, you're not supposed to go that hard. You're not supposed to point out their hypocrisies. See, when these Democrats, they don't want you to point out the hypocrisies of the other candidates. They just want you to disagree and hate on Trump. You're not supposed to point out their hypocrisies. And I love that booing. Tells you everything you need to know about how great it is that Bloomberg's in the race.
Socialism. What a wonderful country we have. The best known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here?
Well, you'll miss that I work in Washington, house one.
That's the first part.
Live in Burlington, house 2.
That's good.
And like thousands of other Vermonters, I do have a summer camp. Forgive me for that. Where is your home? Which tax haven do you have your home?
New York City, thank you very much. And I pay all my taxes. And I'm happy to do it because I get something for it.
Yes. And a summer camp. I have a summer camp. Who the hell has a summer camp? What is the purpose of a summer? Let me Google. Let me see what comes up on the Google here. Let's see here. Bernie Sanders has a summer camp. I'm going to Google that. Let's see what comes up. Let's see here. Well, there's an article here. Inside Bernie's boot camp for students. No, that's not his camp. It doesn't say anything about that. There's not much on the Google about that. If anybody has any information, let's see here. Does Bernie say? There's no details. I'd like to see his summer camp. Camp Crystal Lake. I like that one. Oh my goodness. Oh man, yeah. Mike Bloomberg did such a great job. You know, when you hear those Democrats boo when he points out Bernie Sanders' hypocrisy. See, they're not supposed to go after one another that hard. He went too hard on Bernie. Good morning. You're on the radio. Hey, Mike. Do you know anyone that owns a summer camp?
No, I mean, the closest thing I can think of to that would be the Bushes with Kenny Bunkport. You know?
Yeah, but they're not socialist.
You go winter in Kenny Bunkport, and that's the closest I can think, or the Kennedys with Hyannisport or whatever.
And then when he said at the end, you know, when he says to Bloomberg at the end, listen to this part. Listen to this. Hold on.
Since I do have a summer camp, forgive me for that. Where is your home? Which tax haven do you have your home?
Now, when he said, which tax haven do you have your home, does that imply that Bernie has a tax haven home somewhere? What does that mean?
I take that.
That's how it sounded to me. Like, Bernie, where do you have your tax haven? Mine's at the summer camp. Where's your tax haven, Bloomberg? You know, that's what it sounded like to me.
Right, and that's the thing.
A cottage.
They're eating each other alive.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to keep eating each other. And here's the deal. Whoever it is that ends up winning this thing, we're speculating.
With the Jonas Brothers?
Bloomberg, but whoever it is, one, they don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Two, when Trump, I mean, we saw what Trump did to Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, you know, Lion Ted and Little Marco. Trump has this dry, almost a British type sense of humor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Grail,
Monty Python. Yeah.
Grail and all those people.
Yeah.
You know? That type of sense of humor, and they won't be able to deal with that type of sense of humor. I mean, his one-liners are classic, and I don't know if they'll be able to deal with it, you know?
Yeah. Well, do you agree with me that if Bloomberg wasn't in the debate, it wouldn't have been as exciting as it was?
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh man.
You got Pocahontas there.
Yeah.
You got old crusty old Bernie there, who they're looking to screw him again. You know, I mean, somehow, and they actually don't want him, even though the youth and the excitement is with Bernie.
Yeah.
On him.
Yeah. I know. I really enjoyed that. And again, I got up at 2 a.m. so I could watch it this morning. The reason I do that, I got up early to watch it instead of last night so that it's fresher in my mind when I go on the air. Because if I watch it last night and go to bed, it's not as close. So if I'm, you know what I mean? And it really, that was one of the most exciting presidential debates I have ever seen. And what made it so exciting is it was such a disaster for the Democrats.
Right, and look, he's the president. I guarantee you, next time, I think his his next rally is gonna be in Nevada someplace. And
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
he's gonna mention that rally. I mean that debate. How exciting or bad it was. I guarantee he's gonna mention it because he with that type of stuff he just can't help himself.
No. Well, who could? Who could? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That was just, oh man, I'm so excited.
These things to go.
I think they've got another debate. I think there's a debate next week. And you know, some of these people, like Elizabeth Warren, who really tore in, and Bernie really tore into Bloomberg, the television and internet is going to be filled with ads exposing them hardcore from Bloomberg.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we talked about a few days back with how much money he's spending on buying ads.
Yeah.
Bloomberg. We got these guys, and what's his name is a millionaire, and so I mean, look, we talk about Bernie being a millionaire, but what's folks Hines isn't too far behind with that.
The only person on that stage last night that's not a millionaire or a billionaire is Mayor Pete. He'll be a millionaire soon enough, after he loses the election and he writes a book and goes on the speaking tour. He'll be a millionaire soon enough, but he's the only one who's not. And I love how these millionaires up there are, AOC said yesterday billionaires shouldn't exist.
Well, that's AOC though. This is a woman that
she was on The View.
What a garbage disposal is.
That's true.
What can we trust from her?
That's true. There's no doubt about that. Oh man, I know. That was great. I really, can you honestly tell me if I'm just too giddy, but was that one of the most exciting debates you've seen?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah, it was a blood match. I mean, they were really out to destroy one another last night. It was like the Hunger Games out there.
Oh yeah, and Trump doesn't have to. With Mike Bloomberg, Trump doesn't have to do a doggone thing but watch this.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets the time to watch it, he don't have to do a doggone thing. If they're doing his work for him.
Absolutely. Hey, Mike, up in Louisiana, how do you listen to the show? What platform do you listen on?
YouTube.
Oh, you watch on YouTube. Oh, how do you like my Trump flag behind me on YouTube? Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? Yeah, I know. I wanted to see what it looked like on YouTube, and so I pulled up my own channel yesterday, and I love that this blue Trump 2020 Keep America Great flag really stands out in the thumbnails on YouTube.
Right, and the thing is before you put that thing up, your shot was missing something. Your camera shot was missing something, and that flag is that something that was missing.
Well, the studio, our walls are carpeted for soundproofing, to make it a soundproof studio, and that's so that the gray you see is that, but that flag just Trump picks great colors, and the flag that I have behind me is a full size flag that you meant to fly on a flagpole. It's pretty big. I don't know of any other radio shows that have Trump flags behind them while they're broadcasting. I'm proudly pro-Trump.
There aren't many other shows that do a YouTube show like.
Yeah, I know they should. Well, I'm glad you make sure you check out my podcast on YouTube as well. Okay, gotcha. All right, Mike in Louisiana. Oh man, we're a countdown to my vacation. My vacation are our Steve Kane cruises, and I don't get much time off. If you've noticed, I really don't. I get very, very little time off. Although I do have 2 days off next month, but that's very unusual. And we put together these cruises so that I could get a vacation. I am not kidding you. And when we did our first week-long cruise, was the first time that I had a full week off work since my daughter came home from the hospital when she was born, and I think she was 19 then. That's because it's just. The nature of the job I have, I get very little time off and no vacation time. And the cruise is how I get a vacation. And you all are invited on our Trump 2020 Steve Kane Victory Cruise, which is also my vacation. and it's going to be a great time. We're sailing on the Celebrity Edge out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We leave for 7 days on Sunday, December 6th. We return the following Sunday. First stop, Puerto Rico. Second stop, Tortola, British Virgin Islands. The third stop, St. Martin, which is beautiful, St. Martin. And then we turn around and come back to Fort Lauderdale. And we've got so many great activities planned. We have activities planned every day, all day, throughout the day. Our live, we do a first night, we always do like a live talk show. And what we did in the past was we would have it in a conference room on board the ship that has a great ocean view. And this year, what we're doing is we're actually doing our live talk show at the top of the ship outside at sea the first night. They've got this great, beautiful garden club at the very top of the ship. And it's outside right at the top, as high as you can go. And we're going to be out there doing our live talk show outside at sea at the very top of the ship. We have dinner together every night. One thing we're doing on this one that's very different, the Celebrity Edge, the dining experience is much different than on regular cruise ships. By the way, the Celebrity Edge is the most advanced cruise ship on the ocean today. It really is. It's so modern and so new. Typically on a cruise ship, they have one big dining room and then a handful of specialty restaurants. And we're not eating in a main dining room. Each and every night, we are going to switch dining rooms. And in each dining room has a different type of food. One's Mediterranean, one's an American steakhouse. You know how it goes. And so each night we're going to eat in a different dining room to have a different experience and different type of food and just a different flavor. It's going to be wonderful. We do have dinner together every night. Ian and I are planning some excursions, and our stop, one of them definitely will be in Puerto Rico, and in San Juan, my favorite spot in the Caribbean. I've had some good times in San Juan when I was a younger man. But yeah, we're going to have some great times down there. And we are going to have a private party. If you go to stevekaneshow.com, there's 2 videos there I'd like you to watch. Watch the video of our previous cruise first, and then watch my tour of the Celebrity Edge after you watch the tour of our last cruise, so you can see how much fun and what a great group of Trump people we have on our cruises. When you go and watch the Celebrity Edge video on the side of the ship, you may see this on television because I noticed they run a lot of commercials for the Celebrity Edge on the cable news. The magic carpet, which is this orange lounge that's on the side of the ship that actually is like a big elevator that goes up and down the ship. We're going to have a private party out on the magic carpet at sea one evening. It's just, we've got so many great activities planned, and all of you, except Liberal Al the John, are invited to join us. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Make your reservations. You've got a long time, so you can pay it off over time if you'd like. Just make a small deposit and you're locked in. There's some great benefits, by the way, to making reservations early. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. If you miss this number, it is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And join us on our Steve Kane Trump 2020 Victory Cruise on board the Celebrity Edge. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig, I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that one, man. It's everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977 561-244-5745 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid
244-5779. 561-244-5779.
nursing home seizure of your assets and more. This free Medicaid
Got it?
planning seminar is Wednesday,
Who asked for that?
at 10 a.m.
Oh, Steph. Oh, yeah.
Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All righty. Oh, man, how exciting. I am back. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Oh, my goodness. Boy, oh, boy, I tell you, it's just so great. When Barack Obama won in 2008 and was reelected, I thought we were done. I thought the country was lost and gone. Barack Obama is a socialist too, and socialists are really communists. I know they call themselves socialists, but Barack Obama is as much of a socialist as AOC, and he was pretty vocal about that with Joe the Plumber. And I thought that the Democrats had their vote fraud machine in place so effectively that we were not going to have an pro-American president in a long time. And then Trump came down the escalator and changed everything. And, there's a phrase that Steve uses when it comes to the Democrat election fraud, and it's hardcore election. They got illegals voting, they have college students voting twice, they have fictitious people voting, the dead vote. They got, how the Democrats operate. But there's a phrase Steve uses, margin of fraud. See, they can't do fraud everywhere. They do it in key areas. And when we win, see, our people, the Republican voters are real, they're alive, they're U.S. citizens, they only vote once. So we're at a disadvantage because Democrats, they get many more votes than they should be getting. In fact, they would probably, if we had only the people voting in this country who were legally eligible to vote and were alive, the Democrats would have no hope of ever having any type of control in the House of Representatives. So much of the House of Representatives is based on fraud. I mean, how many Democrats from California alone are there just because we count illegals in the allocation of congressional districts and then let them vote? It's insanity what's going on. But I thought we were done until Trump. And Bernie Sanders, the Democrat fraud machine is in big trouble. Bernie Sanders said something last night. Let me find it. Yeah, this was Bernie Sanders last night talking about what they need to win.
In order to beat Donald Trump, we're going to need the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States.
Wow. What an admission. They're going to need the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States to have a chance to beat Trump. Yeah. I mean, that tells you that they know they're in trouble, big time. That Bernie Sanders, they're not going to get the biggest turnout ever. How are they going to do that? Trump has won over so many people that would never vote Republican. He's not your standard Republican. Republicans really had a bad rep and a bad brand for a long time. And, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, so I've got nothing against what the left refer to as the Christian right. But a lot of Christians in the Republican Party, I think, were counterproductive by focusing in on a couple of things. One, the gay rights, being against gay rights, which was a very unpopular position. They made that too much of a thing. And one thing I've talked about a lot is how conservatives shouldn't be so much anti-abortion as they are pro-adoption. See, if adoption is promoted, there'll be fewer abortions. Adoption just is not promoted. People don't understand it. They're afraid of it. They think it's hard to do. They don't understand adoption. And I've always thought that the pro-life movement would be better served becoming an adoption advocacy organizations. They'd be much more effective than showing pictures of dead babies and and things like that. And Republicans were not winning a lot because of some of these what I consider to be bad marketing styles. of conservatives, largely from so-called Christian right. Not that I disagree with Christian right on a lot of issues, except on gay rights, but the way they marketed was very negative. And Trump is not that type of Republican. Born and raised in New York City, he's a little socially liberal when it comes to certain things, and he is a Christian, he is conservative, he is pro-life, but he's not that stereotype. He's not the Pat Robertson style of Republican, and the Republican brand has changed so much for the better. The Republican brand used to be Bill Kristol, and there was another guy other than Tucker Carlson that used to wear the bow ties. You know, the standard stereotype of a Republican was the National Review crowd, and Donald Trump has made Republicans hip, cool. You know, and he's totally rebranded the image of the party, and the Democrats are losing for so many reasons, not just the success of Donald Trump, but that he's viewed as cool by so many people. They love him. There are so many people that are voting Republican that never would have dreamed of voting Republican before Trump. And when Bernie says they need the largest turnout in history to have a chance to win, that's the kind of poll I'm talking about. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Jeff in Maine. How you doing?
I'm doing better.
Now you're closer to Bernie than I am. Do you know anyone that owns a summer camp like Bernie Sanders? He says he owns a summer camp.
Absolutely not. Hey, I think one of the most touching moments last night in the Trump rally was when they carried that World War II veteran down.
Oh, my goodness.
See, and then Don Jr. went over and handed him hats and T-shirts.
I saw that. Is that amazing?
And at the very end, Brian, he packed him something little. I didn't see what it was. I'm wondering if it was a flag pin or something from President Trump. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I missed that part. I saw Don Jr. go out there when they were carrying the guy. I mean, that was amazing. You know, I tell you, when you get here in Florida, since so many people retire, you know, I've had because so many seniors retire to Florida from everywhere. I've met amazing people. I've met Holocaust survivors. I was at the grocery store one day, and there was a guy in line at the grocery store that was one of the Flying Tigers. You know, I mean, you meet amazing people, but what I've noticed in the last few years is there's fewer of them, and the old men now that are hobbling around are the Vietnam veterans. It's amazing how old Vietnam veterans are, and there are so few World War II veterans. I saw a story the other day. How many people are left alive from Pearl Harbor? Well, they're almost all 3, 2. Is it 2 now? That shocked me.
February 16th, I think there's 2 now.
Yeah, 2 Pearl Harbor survivors left. I mean, that's crazy, you know, and...
Do you think that a Democrat rally would ever do that for a World War II veteran?
Well, you know, what I was thinking about when I saw those guys carry down that World War II veteran and Don Jr. go up there, that's a sign of respect for the World War II veterans who were just, you know, my grandfather was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was in Patton's army, you know, and you know, so I World War II veterans are just so special. There's not many left. And what I was thinking about with that incredible treatment by the president and by the first son, Don, you know, Jr., I was thinking about how Obama treated World War II veterans, and what Obama did was so outrageous and disgusting. They during the government shutdown, people weren't feeling it enough, so Obama ordered a lot of things shut down, like the open air landmarks in the Washington Mall, including that World War II memorial. And there were a group of World War II veterans who flew there on like their honor flights that were like in their 80s and 90s, who flew to Washington to see the World War II memorial. And they were stopped by park police that Obama sent out there. And those guys, who knows if they'd ever be able to make it back at their ages. And Obama turned the World War II veterans away, you know, so that people would feel the pain of the government shutdown. It was disgusting. And you see the respect that guy got last night. I got goosebumps, even talking to you about it.
I was almost in tears. That's a sign of such respect and honor.
Well, you know, the left don't respect World War II veterans because after World War II, is when the United States became the dominant country of the world. Before that, we were kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say we were third world, but we weren't all that important in the scheme of things. And that's when everything turned upside down for them, I guess, is when America became number one.
Generation that ever lived, and they started the boom in the American economy. They started the greatest, that's what really made America great on the world level.
Well, that's why the liberals hate World War II veterans. Yeah, I know. That was something,
Get from where we are today from where we were.
Oh, it's easy. I tell you the most. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I think, but you tell me what you think first, because I know how we got here.
And they took God and the Bible out of school, and they started indoctrinating our kids.
Well, that's part of it. I think the Vietnam War is what turned everything around. And yeah, the Vietnam War and Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, those two things, which were kind of worked in coordination to destroy America as we know it. I mean, that's it. The Vietnam War. I mean, if it wasn't for the war in Vietnam that gave birth to liberal protest organizations, all these liberal organizations today were born out of the Vietnam protest era. They wouldn't exist.
One more thing to that, the mainstream news media, because they used them to turn Americans against our...
Walter Cronkite, the most disgusting newsman ever, because he's the one that's when he took his glasses off to wipe the tear the day Kennedy was shot is when editorializing became okay in television news, and that was early on in television news. And now it's all editorial. There's no news anymore. Walter Cronkite, very destructive to this country. I know that most people don't even know who he is anymore.
First, this new media, anti-American news media, they have an agenda, and it's not for the best of America. It's about the elitists and the government controls and those telling people what to think and say. It was communism.
Well, I got to tell you, Chuck Todd last night. I got two clips of Chuck Todd. Let me play. This was the first one. This is Chuck Todd talking to Mayor Pete, and listen to this.
I want to get you in on this because in 2000 you wrote an award-winning essay. You praised Senator Sanders. You specifically praised him for embracing socialism. You have now since said that you're concerned about his policies. But I am curious about this. Are you in touch with your millennials by a big chunk embrace his version of democratic socialism? You do not. Are you out of touch with your generation?
So I'm going to talk in detail about that later. But Chuck Todd said to Mayor Pete, "Are you out of touch with your generation because you're not a democratic socialist?" And then later, this is Chuck Todd talking to Bloomberg about his wealth.
Is it too much? Have you earned too much money? Has it been an obscene amount of? Should you have earned that much money?
Wow. Do you have an obscene... Now, Chuck Todd, I'm sure, is a millionaire. He's been on, he's got that Meet the Press crap going on. I'm sure he does very well. But Chuck Todd really came out last night as a communist. Do you have an obscene amount of money, Mayor Bloomberg? Mayor Pete, are you out of touch because you're not a democratic socialist? Chuck Todd really came out as a communist last night.
And how did that happen? It goes back, like you said, Vietnam, the end of World War II.
Yep.
At that Communist Party, they were shut down quick during World War II.
That's right.
It's not something new. It's something that was gradually accepted.
Yeah.
Trying to ram it down.
That's right.
An end to that. He put an end to the mainstream news media and the establishment, Republican and Democrat.
Well, the communists were shut down in the 50s, and they all became Democrats. There's a great book on President Reagan. This book's about 15 or 20 years old, and it's a great book. It's a biography of President Reagan. It's called When Character Was King, and it's a short book. I read it many years ago, And Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat, and he told a story about Franklin Roosevelt's son. FDR's son took him, I think he was president of the Screen Actors Guild at the time. Franklin Roosevelt's son took Ronald Reagan to a Democrat meeting. And President Reagan got there. He says it was a Communist Party USA meeting, and he got the hell out of there. And what happened after the 50s, when they had all the hearings and everything, McCarthy, with Joe McCarthy, who was right, by the way, they realized there was no future as being open communist, so they became Democrats. And the communists in the Democrat Party made their biggest moves during the war in Vietnam. All those fake protest movements were backed by the Soviet Union, and gave birth to people like John Kerry and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, who have been running the Democrat Party. The people running it at the upper levels are from that generation. The Democrat Party has been a communist party for decades, and now Bernie and AOC and Warren, they're just coming out of the closet about it.
That the Communist Party, the Democrats, a lot of them became that, but they didn't. It wasn't like now, just in your face, progressive.
Well, they were in the closet. They were in the, it's like, they were in the closet. Like gays were in the closet until AIDS. AIDS gave birth to gays being out of the closet. Because what AIDS did, I'm not saying this is not my view of it, but this is what happened. Prior to AIDS, homosexuality was seen as a perversion in this country, okay? And what AIDS did was turn it into a sympathetic group of people. And I support gay rights. Please don't misunderstand me, but that's what happened. And the Vietnam War allowed the communists to infiltrate and take over the Democrat Party. And that's Bernie Sanders' generation. All right. Hey, listen, I missed a break, so I got to run. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back because I can't miss a break, and we got the top of the hour coming up. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show.
With diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you are still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. Yeah, talking about the media. Chuck Todd last night with those 2 questions. I mean, that was, he really came out last night. Chuck Todd is supporting democratic socialism, which is communism. And the greatest, there are 2 great threats in America today. One is, the security of our elections because of the Democrat vote fraud and the foreign nationals that vote in it and all of that. And the second one is this democratic socialism. And I was a little upset. I saw this week that AOC has 12 opponents. Are those all primary opponents? I mean, why don't they just hand her the victory? AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, democratic socialism is a huge, huge danger in this country. Okay? Huge, huge danger. And Chuck Todd's endorsement of it last night in the Democratic debate is evidence of that. It's becoming out and about and okay, and it's growing. And I know I played that clip yesterday of Bloomberg where he said that, young people support it because they don't know what it is. They equate socialism with social media. And I think there's truth to that. I think they don't understand it. You know, when I was growing up, we were just hardcore overwhelmed with stories of the Soviet Union and Cuba and Vietnam and what communism was, what socialism was. And the left always supported it. You know, the left always supported the Soviet Union. You know, one thing with Jeff, you know, when I said that the communists all became Democrat, the Democrat Party has been a communist party since the Second World War. There's no doubt about it, even before. You know, the Democrats were opposed to U.S. intervention in the Second World War. And when the Democrats turned in favor of intervening in the Second World War was long before Pearl Harbor. It was 1940 when Germany attacked the Soviet Union. When they were overrunning France, when they were bombing London, the Democrats didn't give a damn. They're big supporters of the fascists, because National Socialism. But when Hitler attacked the Soviet Union, that's when the Democrats said, "You've gone too far, Chancellor," and that's when things changed. That's the truth. A lot of people, you know, when that Berlin Wall fell, a lot of people don't remember, you know, we're generations beyond that now, but when the Berlin Wall came down, Democrats were not happy because the collapse of the Berlin Wall they knew that was the beginning of the end, the collapse of communism. Because Soviet Union was the biggest country in the world, a lot of influence, and, you know, the reason that Cuba and countries like Venezuela are in the toilet today is because communism doesn't work, but the Soviet Union was propping these countries up. And you know, when I first realized how bad it was, really, because I was young back then, you know, but when I realized how bad it was after the fall of the Soviet Union, there was an incident in a town in Siberia. I can't remember exactly what it was, but CNN was reporting live from this town. There was some event. I can't remember what it was, but a shooting, a bunch of deaths. There was some deadly event. It was in a town in Siberia. And CNN was live from this town reporting. We had never, you know, during the days of the Soviet Union, we never saw inside the Soviet Union. You'd see the Kremlin, and that was about it. You wouldn't see what it was really like. And they were showing this town in Russia, and it didn't even have paved roads. It looked like a town from the 1890s. It was shocking to me, and that's when I realized that I didn't know. The Soviet Union was a third world country, and they had an iron curtain so that people didn't see it. You know, and the generation of young people today don't understand it. You know, they don't understand what communism is, what socialism is, and what it does. You know, they just don't know. They've been brainwashed in the education system. But this democratic socialism is a big threat, and it's got to be stopped. It cannot be allowed to spread. And the only way we can do that is to defeat at the polls AOC and others. And when I see that there's 12 people running against her, that benefits her. They're splitting the opposition. We need to have one person running against AOC. And when I see 12, I don't know how many of them are Democrat primaries, but that's not good news. All right, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take a break. We're talking about this great Democrat debate last night. President Trump, of course, the winner of the Democrat debate. Indeed, indeed. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be back after this.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470.
Yeah, Sarah's going to the Colorado Trump rally.
The Florida Money Talk Network.
Dr. Matez, we talk about charisma. Hormone replacement pellet therapy brings back a lot of things in people, and one of the things I think it brings back is charisma, because I've met many listeners that are patients of Dr. Matez that I've met before they were patients of Dr. Matez, and I notice a big difference. And one thing I notice is a lot of confidence in guys after they start hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I agree with you 100%, Brett.
Yeah, yeah.
Get your mojo back. It's really
It changes your life. It changes the way you view the world. You know how I put it once? This was years and years ago. looking at the world after having the hormone therapy, and you look at the world, and the world is like a Technicolor, and when you give up the hormone therapy, it's like watching the world in black and white. It's just an amazing difference. Like
That's a fantastic analogy.
Isn't it?
It is.
And it's true. That's a big difference.
It is. As we get older, we both physically and mentally break down, and we tend to get into a very black and white type of existence.
Welcome, everyone. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it's our top of the hour break.
Your hormone levels back, and you get that vigor back. You feel good. Suddenly, things are very bright and colorful.
And I experience this myself, and I see it on listeners, is I'll see a guy, and he's like, and then I'll see him after he has become a patient of yours and with hormone replacement pellet therapy. He seems like he's standing up strong, confident, 10 feet tall. What is it about hormone replacement pellet therapy that does that to guys?
Steve Kane Show.
It's because you're putting God's nectar back into the body, basically. God gave us testosterone in particular to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men, it's what makes people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from you.
We'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge.
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you were still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS.
Oh, awesome, Connie.
This free Living Trust
Yeah, they are
seminar
great,
is
aren't they?
Wednesday, February 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE.
Use the promo code Kane when you order, Connie.
8782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
You get the 2 sets? All right. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Connie, who's watching in the YouTube live chat, said she just got her MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. She said they're fantastic because they are, and she used the promo code Kane. If you go to MyPillow.com and you click on the radio listener specials, there's incredible specials, including the on the Giza Dream Sheets. When you use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, that's Giza cotton, by the way. When you use the promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com, you get 2 sets of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for the price of 1. And they are great. I sleep on them. And I don't know what it is about the Giza cotton sheets, but no matter what the temperature is, outside or in the room, it's always the perfect body temperature. And those MyPillow Giza cotton dream sheets. Also at MyPillow.com, an incredible offer right now. You can, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, you can get a MyPillow for just $39.99. It's a great deal, $39.99. Incredible deal. You got to use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, and that number to order by phone is 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. And when you order by phone, make sure you spell out K-A-N-E to the person on the phone to get these special offers. All right, so hour number 2 has begun. Donald Trump, of course, I agree with Brett Baer, won last night's debate. Bloomberg did a masterful job causing complete chaos in the Democrat debate, which I would compare to the Hunger Games. I mean, it was a blood match, a cage match. It was like Snake Plissken in that fight in Escape from New York. It was beautiful. I loved it. Richie the bus driver.
Good morning. It's time for me to educate not just you, but to educate any listening.
Okay. Wait a minute. You know what the millennials would say to you? Okay, boomer. Okay, Boomer.
I'm 71 years old. At one time, I was 16, I was 15, and I was 18. And back in that time, okay, there was a Vietnam War going on, which actually lasted like 10 years. The only way you could get exempt from the Vietnam War, okay, was if you said you were a communist, the army wouldn't take you. Or if you said you were gay, the army wouldn't take you. Okay? And the other way to get out of the Vietnam War, because everyone sat with pins and needles on, they were afraid to go, and there was a draft going on. The only other way was to go into college, which most people, or go to Canada or Sweden. Most young people that didn't want to support the war, that were afraid, went into college. All the protesters became professors and educators, and this is what you have: a group of people that were anti-American, anti-everything about this country, going into our educational system, brainwashing our youth for the last 30 or 40 years. This is like solely disgusting.
Yeah.
I think what Chuck Todd really did was expose Buttigieg. Buttigieg is just he's a phony. And young people, by the way, I really believe that most young people are brainwashed and are socialists. I really do. And they're basically communists. And they don't know anything about the history of this country. They don't know anything about the suffering in this country.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's Vietnam War bad. Vietnam War bad. Republicans racist. They don't even.
No, you're right. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. No, but what Chuck Todd was doing was trying to help the Democrat socialist on the stage last night, though. He wasn't trying to help Pete. You think he was trying to help Mayor Pete?
I watched. Yeah, I do. I think. He was trying. He singled out Pete. Pete looked like caught him in a big old lie.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is I watched that whole debate. I couldn't believe what I watched. You talk about a food fight.
Yeah.
Bloomberg is done, man. Bloomberg is done with that one when he was attacked. He was attacked.
What do you mean he's done? What does that mean to you? When you say he's done, what does that mean to you?
Well, I believe that he's got no chance of becoming president of the United States.
Well, let me tell you this. Okay, of course he doesn't have a chance to becoming president. But listen, Bloomberg. Yeah, I'm going to play that clip. Bloomberg is worth, what is it, $65 billion or something. He and the way that he has mistreated people, he's a guy who's as powerful as Harvey Weinstein used to be, and he's not accustomed to being talked to the way he was talked to last night. I mean, and well, what happened last night, Elizabeth Warren in particular, but she's not alone. They made an enemy of a man with $65 billion. So when Bloomberg got off that stage and felt like a jerk, what do you think he told his people to do?
Go destroy you.
Go destroy, and he probably and start with Elizabeth Warren. So when you say finished, he's not going to win anything, but there's going to be so many anti-Elizabeth Warren ads on the internet and television and radio now. She's going to be, he's a petty little man. That's why he gets that's why he's so abusive to people at his workplace, because he's a petty person.
Let me tell you something. Bernie Sanders showed his true colors last night.
Oh, yeah.
He was up there for 2 hours as an angry old curmudgeon.
His face turned red. Do you know anyone, Richie? Bernie Sanders has a summer camp, he says. Do you know anyone with a summer camp? I don't know anyone with a summer camp. Do you? Except Bernie?
The other thing is, Klobuchar, she was so angry she lost it too. So they all lost it. It was like unbelievable. It was the best 2 hours.
Well, you know this is what I think here. Here's what I think. I don't think there would have been some conflict between Klobuchar and Mayor Pete, but if it was not for Bloomberg being there, it would not have been a bloodbath with everyone last night. Was Tom Steyer even there?
The last was Biden. You know why? Because they didn't attack him. He's been so attacked.
Yeah.
And he said,
that's right.
So all these people, I've done all of that.
yeah.
Living in the past.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, the only winner of that debate was the President of the United States. Thank you.
You know, when he says he has a summer camp, Bernie Sanders, which he thinks everyone does, you know what I wonder about that? Is that like his house and he does something as like a tax write-off to call it a summer camp?
Brian, I believe that his wife got a free pass. Bernie Sanders.
Oh, gosh, yeah. The thing at the college.
Dropped that. Nobody's attacked her because...
Well, that's another thing with Bloomberg. Bloomberg, the two people that Bloomberg's most pissed off at today on that debate stage are Warren and Bernie. And I promise you, Bloomberg is going to expose both of them. And if you're going to expose Bernie, there's two things you get him on: his multiple homes and his wife's scandal at the college. And I think Bloomberg will run television ads telling everybody about it.
She should have been in jail.
Well, the same people were investigating Bernie Sanders' wife that were spying on Trump at Trump Tower. It was the same people.
She should be in jail. Mm-hmm. And these Bernie lovers, they're so stupid, they're just following a big old clique. It's the in thing to be a Bernie lover. I wouldn't want to be a Bernie lover if I was you, because you don't know what all this free stuff is all about.
He's kind of like, you know what Bernie Sanders is? Bernie Sanders is a fad. You know, like Pet Rocks and Blair Witch Project. He's a fad. Yeah.
Like the Pet Rock?
Well, what happens to fads? Well, fads... Yeah, but who wants a pet rock now? Yeah, exactly.
These young people,
Pet
when
rock.
he says, I want to change this country, he's more than transforming this country. Change it to what? Communism?
Now, let me ask you, though, was that debate exciting? Okay, now why was it great to you?
Because they ate each other up.
Yes! And they did so much damage to each other. You know, I haven't heard anybody on a debate stage bring up what a hypocrite, a millionaire with 3 houses that Bernie has. That's never been said on the debate stage. And Klobuchar...
Not the attacking of women and work.
You know who was the best? I'll tell you who the best was that... woman with the accent that doesn't speak English very well, the Latina that was asking the questions. I guess she's from Univision or something. She was asking good questions.
Her partner is Jorge Ramos. And
not romantically, right? They're like co-anchors. She's not in a relationship with Jorge.
President of Mexico made her look like an idiot.
Well, you know, here's the thing. You know what? I don't know the name of the president of Mexico. Do you? But you know why? Why? Okay, now that's good. Why do you and I not know the name of the president of Mexico?
To me, I'm not on.
Well, no. It doesn't matter who cares? Who cares who the president of Mexico is? You understand what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know, who cares? It's not important. But you know what? To that Latina that was there last night from Univision, you know, the president of Mexico is the equivalent of the president of the United States. He's an insignificant I mean, I know he's helping Trump and all, but who cares who he is?
Really? The Dreamers are not more American than any American. I'm tired of hearing that crap.
I know. You know, Richie, I've been talking about this for a while. What the left have done is decided that an American is anyone from the Americas. So if you're a Canadian, you're in North America. So Canadians are Americans. If you're from Chile, you're in South America, you're an American. If you're in the Bahamas, that's part of the Americas as well. Bahamians are Americans. They've decided everyone in the Americas is an American. And since we call ourselves Americans, that makes them us.
To vote for you, what do? You bring them in from other countries to vote.
That's right. All right, Richie the bus driver. Oh, man. All right, let's take our break. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
We want to proudly welcome a new sponsor to the Steve Kane Show, and it's Ace Hardware. Not just any Ace Hardware.
You can get us on
but
the
two
Echo.
special Ace Hardware stores in our area. The first is Ace Hardware, located at 365 South Federal Highway in Deerfield Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway. And Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. If you own a house or condo, you would do yourself a favor to visit one or both of these special stores. There is such a difference shopping in these stores compared to the depot type stores. Service and product selection is what it's all about, and they have a great selection in all their departments that will save you from running around from store to store. And you can get help from their employees who have the knowledge to always put you on the right track to get any project done, large or small. They have happy customers because of the way they treat their customers, and you will become a happy customer too. The list of what they sell is almost endless, but includes plumbing, electrical, sprinkler parts, fasteners of every kind, garden tools, including the largest selection of steel garden equipment. Plus, they are an authorized steel repair center. Let's not forget Benjamin Moore custom blended paints, major brand power tools, including Craftsman, Weber barbecue grills, plus other top-notch brands that are delivered to your home with free assembly. They have the largest selection of key blanks, many down to the color you choose. Even the key fob remote for your doors are sold at these stores, priced lower than the car dealer. Screens are custom made. Glass is cut to size. I could go on and on, but you get the idea. They will
Good morning, everyone. Subscribe if you're not
time
subscribed.
and money by recommending the right products for your job. Again, the two Ace Hardware locations are Ace Hardware at 365 South Federal Highway, Deerfield Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway, and Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. Or call with any questions, 954-531-6265, 954-531-6265, and make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
I watched the new episode this morning before I came to work, and I've got mixed feelings. Mixed feelings on Star Trek Picard.
Seminar. Learn how to prevent running out of money before you run out of life, being forced to spend down your assets, how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and more. This free Medicaid planning seminar is Wednesday, February 26th at 10 a.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, what a great debate. I'm just really excited. That was just a great debate. You know, Elizabeth Warren opened up the debate. This is Elizabeth Warren talking about Mayor Bloomberg.
So I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats...
And, you know, when she said that, the look on Bloomberg's face, he rolled his eyes and looked up in the air. Yeah. See, and that was the end of Elizabeth Warren. There is no way the $65 billion man, who obviously has ego issues, is going to let her get away with that. And what you do is you run ads exposing her fake Indian claims, how she used it at the university to get tenure, how she made her millions of dollars, how she used to be a Republican. You know, Bloomberg, she's done. You know, you've heard the phrase, you can win the battle but lose the war. Yeah, she won the battle right there, but she lost the war. It was pretty brutal.
So I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are...
And I love the tone of the crowd. See, this is what I'm talking about, how Bloomberg changed the tone of the debate, where it became the Hunger Games, became just a debate of personal destruction of one another. Those ooh ahs. You're not supposed to behave this way. Remember what Trump said, Democrats, you can say whatever you want to say, but they're always united. They weren't very united last night. What else did she have to say? I missed the rest.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads.
Oh, I wish I could go to sleep. I've been up since 2 a.m.
And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
This is great.
I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are not going.
Never gets old.
If we have a nominee who has a history of hiding his tax returns, of harassing women, and of supporting racist policies like redlining and stop and frisk. Look, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, but understand this. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another. This country has worked for the rich for a long time and left everyone else in the dirt.
Now, that's right there what I would make a commercial out of. If this is what I would do if I were Bloomberg's people, and they probably are doing this because he's pretty pissed off at her right now. This country has worked for the rich long enough. She's rich. She's worth multi-millions. You take that clip, you show her net worth, and show how she made her money. You expose her as a hypocrite. What else did she have to say?
It is time to have a president who will be on the side of working families and be willing to get out there and fight for them. That is why I am in this race. And
that's why I'm in this race. Yeah, I mean, so, that was beautiful. Big mistake, Elizabeth Warren. Big mistake. She's done. And I can't wait for Bloomberg's ads. And then she went on. Warren, she got all excited. She went in there prepared. Very short-term thinking, just like a liberal, thinking about the now. Meathead, right? Meathead, remember Meathead from All in the Family? Just about the now. What's going now? Now thinking about the long-term ramifications of her going after the $65 billion man.
Senator Warren, you've been critical of Mayor Bloomberg on this issue.
yes, I have, and I hope you heard what his defense was. I've been nice to some women. That just doesn't cut it. The mayor has to stand on his record, and what we need to know is exactly what's lurking out there. He has gotten some number of women, dozens, who knows, to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah, this is great stuff. This eating their own is great. The talking point is Bloomberg was destroyed. Yeah. But this is the thing. When you humiliate a man who has ego issues and $65 billion and has already pre-bought the ad time and all the markets where the primaries are taking place, immediately you're going to get the attack ads of Warren and Bernie. So if last night was the end of the election was today and it was over, it'd be a different ball game. But you know what? There's a long way to go. And Bloomberg is never going to forget what Elizabeth Warren did last night. I mean, she really, with these non-disclosure agreements...
both for sexual harassment and for gender discrimination in the workplace. So, Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
Woo! That sounds like that sounds like Indian calls back there. Does she got some Native Americans in the crowd?
A very few non-disclosure agreements.
How many is
Let me
that?
finish.
How many is that?
None of them accused me of doing anything other than maybe they didn't like the joke I told. And let me put, there's agreements between two parties that wanted to keep it quiet.
See, people sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, for money. They want the money. They sign the agreement. No, he's not going to. This is great. He looked bad. She's going to be destroyed. And it's not that she's going to be exposed. See, she's going to be exposed. The media won't expose these people, And what we need is a Democrat to do it. And that Democrat's going to be Mike Bloomberg. This is so great. So all these people that's saying he was destroyed, he was destroyed maybe, but you know what he was last night? You know what Michael Bloomberg was? When people are around someone like Michael Bloomberg, they're always sucking up to them and kissing their butt because they want something from him. Money. Because he's so rich. He has never been treated in his life like he was treated last night, at least not for a long time, because he's so rich. And with that wealth comes power, and people are always brown-nosing you because they want money from you for something. And he will not forget about that. In particular, Elizabeth Warren, because he obviously has issues with women. Okay, probably has something to do with his physical appearance. He has an issue with women, and he was crossed by a woman last night. Done. Beginning of the end for her. And there's a lot of things to talk about with her that she doesn't want to have to deal with beyond the Indian thing. How she made her money. At what cost she made her money. And I'll tell you, there's something very weird about that video she made with her husband coming into the kitchen, and she says, "Thank you for being here." What, in the kitchen in the home in which he lives with you, his wife in? Something's odd. So there's a, yeah, that's right, there's a lot. And, there's a lot of people out there who think that she committed fraud with the Bar Association with the Native American status, too. There's half a dozen, at least, good issues to make ads about Elizabeth Warren on that would really do damage to her reputation and candidacy. And they're all going to happen now because of that moment. So this media that are doing victory laps on Bloomberg, Bloomberg was triggered last night, and he's coming back. Now, I tell you, I saw something very frightening during the break. I was online, and I saw a story here. You may have seen this. Yasmin Bleeth. Oh, my goodness. I feel bad for Yasmin Bleeth. A lot of you may not know who she is. A lot of you know who she is. She was on Baywatch. And there was a time when she was considered to be one of the hottest, sexiest, most beautiful women in the world when she was on Baywatch. And there's a new photograph of her walking her dog from February 15th. And she's not looking too good. I mean, she's not wearing a bikini. It looks like she's wearing sheets and a hoodie, and she just looks, oh my goodness. She's not recognizable. I can recognize her because they say it's Yasmin Bleeth. If I didn't know it was Yasmin Bleeth, I'd never be able to recognize her, but my goodness, whew. Have you guys seen this picture? It's pretty scary, She's had a rough life, though. She's had a rough life. Since Baywatch, things haven't gone too well for Yasmin Bleeth, and now she's going through this humiliation of this terrible photo. And, I know she doesn't look as good as she used to be, but they catch her. It looks like it's in the morning. She's out there walking the dog. She didn't do her hair. She didn't do her makeup, and then they catch her. Yeah, that's what these tabloids do. They don't catch you when, they like to catch you when you haven't, sometimes I walk the dog in the morning. I haven't showered or anything. I don't look as good as I do now. You catch me. Sometimes I'm wearing my pajamas when I'm walking the dog early in the mornings on the weekend. That's what they did to poor Yasmin Bleeth. But my goodness, I remember when she was like, wow, and now you look at her like, oh boy. The years have not been good to Yasmin Bleeth. Oh, by the way, it's just a minute till the break, so I can do this now. This morning, before I came into work, I watched the latest episode of Star Trek Picard. A few people have asked me about Star Trek Picard in the YouTube chat room this morning on the live stream, and I've got very mixed feelings about it, but I'll tell I watched this week's episode this morning, and there was 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager's in this episode, and there was I'm not going to tell you who it is because it's a surprise, but there's a surprise character from Star Trek Voyager that had an interesting thing happen to them that really shocked me in this episode. But this Me Too era of Hollywood is really destroying everything. Jerry Ryan, who played 7 of 9, the Borg in Star Trek Voyager, became a very big star, and they brought her in to save the show. And you remember she wore that bodysuit, and she had like this incredible body, 7 of 9. And I don't really know what her body looks like too much now. They got a lot of clothes on her, but everyone was in love with 7 of 9. On the show, all the guys on 7 of 9 wanted to have sex with 7 of 9 on Voyager. Even the holographic Dr. Robert Picardo wanted to have sex with 7 of 9 on Star Trek Voyager. Well, on this week's episode of Star Trek Picard, we got to finally meet the person who was lucky enough to become the significant other of Seven of Nine. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Jerry Ryan, Seven of Nine, is a lesbian. She's a lesbian Borg. Can you believe it? They made Seven of Nine a lesbian. Now, the woman who was her lesbian lover that she had a falling out with over some a subplot, very beautiful woman, too, who at one point is wearing an outfit very similar to Seven of Nine from Star Trek Voyager, but they made her a lesbian. So they've in the history of Star Trek, right, which by the way is a 56-year history since the first Star Trek episode, 1964, they filmed the first episode with Jeffrey Hunter, right? They've had one sex symbol on Star Trek in 56 years. It's Seven of Nine, and guess what? Finally, we find out Seven of Nine is a lesbian. And we meet her lesbian lover on this week's episode of Star Trek Picard. Yeah, there you go. It's very exciting. Oh, my gosh. I tell you. You know, when you watch TV, there's no heterosexuals anymore. Everyone's gay. Every show, everyone's gay. That's what they do. I was a little surprised by that at first, and I realized, oh, no, it's 2020. Everyone's gay in Hollywood now. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I know. Maybe, well, let's take our break. It's, I know. That's what they do. Lesbian Borg. It's 32 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I know, two sex symbols of the 90s. Yasmin Bleeth looks like hell, and Seven of Nine, she's a lesbian. So, yeah. 888-GO-KANE-1, that's our number, toll-free call from anywhere, 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be back right after this.
This is Steve Kane. I'm here chatting with Dr. Troy Lemaski, my personal chiropractor. Dr. Troy, how are you today?
Doing well, Steve.
Steve Kane Show.
Is an art. All the nerves in your body go through your spine. If your spine's out of line, the nerves get pinched.
Seven of Nine is a lesbian.
All kinds of symptoms and all kinds of pain as a result of that. And until you get that spine
HT220 was the first move. What's HT220?
If you have a joint, especially in your back, that's stuck, that's not moving properly, it will put pressure not only possibly on nerves, but more of the time on soft tissue structures such as the ligaments, the muscles, and it will create pressure. There are nerves within the joint called mechanoreceptors, and they will affect the actual nerves that are in the joint. Pinched nerves are very common, and they do come from spinal misalignments, but not everybody that has a problem has a pinched nerve.
I've been seeing you for a relatively short period of time, and you have the healing touch, I'll tell you that. When I walk out of your office, I feel like a whole new person. I know you take great care of everybody, but I know you're going to go that extra mile for our wonderful Steve Kane listeners. Doctor, give them the number of the office where they can make an appointment.
Yeah, Me Too's destroying entertainment.
Center, and the phone number is 954-463-3036. 954-463-3036.
Pinocchio.
We're located in East Fort Lauderdale. We're just one block east of US 1 and Oakland Park Boulevard, right off Middle River Drive. The address is 2510 East Oakland Park Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale.
Dr. Troy Lemaski, a great healer. Make an appointment today.
Attention homeowners, this is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm here to cut your electric bill and save you a lot of money. Perhaps even eliminate your electric bill.
No, I wasn't born in 54 either.
By making your entire home energy efficient. By upgrading some or all of the following. Roofs, doors, windows, insulating your attic, AC systems and ducts, hot water heaters, and even adding solar. Energy efficient improvements that actually pay for themselves over a short period of time. Our program is designed to make the savings on your electric bill pay for all or part of your low monthly payments. The PACE program is government sponsored and gives you up to 30 years to pay. Requires no credit check, no money down, no income verification, and no payments for up to 18 months.
Yep, 71. That's when I was born.
Taxes for the last 3 years.
Yeah, she was only in 3 episodes, though. Grace Lee Whitney.
Made easy. Call 954-939-1500. 954.
Yeah, she just recently died a couple years ago.
To start saving money now.
This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. This free Living Trust seminar is Wednesday, February 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We've been talking about this great debate, the Democrat debate last night, which I think may have been the most entertaining debate. I would say it rivals the Trump debates. It was that good. It was that good. Everyone, Bloomberg got destroyed. Bloomberg got destroyed. They all were destroyed last night. Don't you get it? They all were destroyed. Even Biden. Except Tom Steyer. Was Tom Steyer there? I didn't hear him talk. I'm not sure. Conservative Doug, you're on the radio.
Good morning, good morning. You know, I thought I wasn't going to watch it. I watched a little bit and then I shut it off. But the first thing is when Elizabeth Warren went after Mayor Bloom.
Her girlfriend's pretty good looking.
It reminded me of what I read once of Howard Hughes when
This is a real studio.
Went against him and then he destroyed this guy. And they said the last time they saw him around, he was begging for a job because not only did he destroy him, he told everybody in Washington, if you help him out, I'll go after you next.
Well, what happened last night? It was almost like it was the battle of the villains. They each have an arch rival, and they just went after one another. Klobuchar went after Pete. Pete went after Klobuchar. Bloomberg and Warren went after Bloomberg. He went after them. The Latina from Univision went after Biden, and then he went back at her. It was just a bloodbath where they all were destroyed. Not Bloomberg. He was destroyed. They all were destroyed.
Yeah, they're terrible. I watched for about 10 times and slipped over to see Trump. But the other thing is, what the hell is with Bloomberg's teeth? That guy's got $16 billion. He can't get his teeth fixed. They're all yellow and all messed.
I guess when you have $65 billion, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can, And I'll tell you another thing, too. Elizabeth Warren made a big deal about these non-disclosure agreements and women making charges. I don't know. But I do know this, that rich guys are always getting jammed up by people with lawsuits because they figure they'll pay out. So you sign a non-disclosure, you get paid. That's why they did it. So, this Harvey Weinstein jury, he very well could get acquitted, Harvey Weinstein. When you hear some of this evidence that's going on here, I wonder if Harvey Weinstein is acquitted, what kind of damage is that going to do to this Me Too movement that's making our sex symbols all gay now?
I think he might get acquitted because it was all consensual mostly, and they didn't have to do it. He didn't rape anybody that I know about.
Well, I don't know. I do know that it seemed to me to be consensual, even though they might have been disgusted by him and had regret later or something. But, the first person that came forward was the woman in Harvey Weinstein that I remember was the woman that was with Anthony Bourdain. And after she was supposedly raped by Harvey Weinstein, she had a consensual relationship with him after. So, who has a consensual, Juanita Broderick never had a consensual relationship with Bill Clinton after he raped her. So where do you go from there?
Well, I certainly think that it's an interesting case. I'm waiting to hear what's going to happen to, I forgot his name already.
Harvey Weinstein? Oh, Roger Stone?
This judge is the Democrat that she is. He's going to probably give him 8-9 years, and they'll come immediately say, okay, that's it.
What I would like to see happen is if Trump's all into drama. He knows how to time things, and he knows how things work. The way the Roger Stone verdict, the sentencing is going to be live on television, not in the courtroom because you can't have cameras in they don't have cameras in federal courtrooms, unfortunately. I think they should, but it's going to be live on TV. As soon as it happens, it's going to be announced. I would like to see President Trump announce the pardon of Roger Stone within 60 seconds of the announcement of the verdict. Of the sentence.
Great, man. That's what he should do. I hope he does it. I hope he's listening, and we'll.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. I was watching CNN early this morning before I came in, and they were talking about well, maybe he'll pardon Roger Stone before the sentence. He's not going to pardon him before. He's going to wait till after, and if he did it within a minute or two of the sentence coming down, that would be dramatic. I mean, that would be like, wow.
Really annoying. It's not a bad certificate. They're annoying no matter what he does. So.
It doesn't matter what if he doesn't pardon him, they're going to be annoyed. No, he should pardon him and have him at the next rally, introducing him. Yeah, I can take it. That's right. That would be all right. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Oh, Attorney Barry Siegel. I was just thinking about you because your workshops are coming up on Tuesday next week.
Actually, Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Scratch that. I made a mistake. Wednesday next week. That's correct. I'm sorry, Barry Siegel. I apologize. Yeah, Wednesday next week. The Medicaid planning at 10, Revocable Living Trust Planning Workshop at 2 in Boca. I got to tell you, the Medicaid planning workshop last time was, as well as the Living Trust workshop, were full houses. It was basically standing room only.
Yeah, we've been getting quite a turnout. There's a lot of interest in these topics. There are a lot of people who come to these, especially the Medicaid in the morning. We get people who are caregivers for folks who are either getting care at home or in a facility. A lot of times they're caregivers for people with Alzheimer's or dementia. Just yesterday, I have been invited to speak at a Alzheimer's support group for their caregivers, and this topic held a great deal of interest. I was only supposed to speak for half an hour, and when I was trying to finish up, they didn't want us to finish because there was so much information that they didn't know, and they were being educated about the options that are available to protect their assets and get care for their loved ones without spending down their assets. So, of course, that was just a short presentation. On Wednesday, we're going to go into it in full detail for about an hour and 15 minutes on Medicaid. And then in the afternoon, we're going to spend about the same amount of time talking about revocable living trust, about wills, about all the other important documents you need, and some of the I don't want to say small things because they're really big things, but things that if you really don't know this area, if you're just going to try to do it yourself, things that you could miss that can become big issues if you don't do it properly.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, both of these workshops are fantastic. The Medicaid planning, sad reality. If you live in Florida, you know, because we have such a an aging population down here, you see these things happen that don't have to happen. And what happens oftentimes is one of the spouses will become ill. They need either nursing home care or at-home care, and they go through all of their assets. Sometimes I've seen people, Barry, sell their home and move in with the kids and spend down the windfall from the home, and then the spouse passes away, the surviving spouse is broke. That doesn't have to happen. And with Medicaid planning, with Attorney Barry Siegel, people think they have to be destitute to qualify for these Medicaid benefits, but they don't, right, Barry?
What they're allowed to have and still qualify. For example, assets that don't count towards the amount Medicaid allows you to have, which for the person who needs Medicaid is $2,000, and the spouse is allowed $128,000. They could still have their home and its contents. They could still have a car.
And let me tell you, I promise you, unless they're Attorney Barry Siegel, your friends, your family, your uncle, your cousin, your accountant, they don't know what they're talking about. You need to talk to Attorney Barry Siegel. Now, listen, both of these workshops are completely free, but Barry does ask that you make a reservation just so they know how many people are attending. And I got to tell you, I would call and make that reservation today. The last two workshops We're standing room only. And to get all of this great free information from Attorney Barry Siegel, and even be able to ask Attorney Barry Siegel and his staff questions while you're there about your personal situation, it's a pretty good deal because it's free. Call his office. Let him know you're coming. 855-FLA-3782, 1-855-352-3782. All right, Barry, we'll see you Wednesday next week. You too. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. You guys need to come to these. By the way, no matter what age you are, you're never too young or too. You need to get in there and make your planning. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Yeah, this bloodbath last night. That's just what we want. We want to. There is so much division inside the Democrat Party. When they're for a while, they were united against Trump. Now they're divided. There's few of them. There's factions, right? You have the Warren Sanders faction, which are aimed at Bloomberg. You have these other factions. You've got Mayor Pete, who's sucking up to Bloomberg because he wants that Bloomberg money. This is just going. This could not be going better for President Trump. You know, Biden was just this Latina commentator from Univision. She was good. She was asking some tough questions, and she got Klobuchar and she got Biden. This is, I don't know her name, but this is the Latina. She's talking to Joe Biden. Joe Biden has talked about putting in jail executives of corporations that are responsible for climate change.
To hold oil and gas executives accountable for their role in harming our planet. You have even suggested that you might put them in jail. Which companies are you talking about, and how far are you willing to go? Vice President Biden, you didn't answer to my questions.
You did not answer to my questions. English, obviously, not her first language.
You didn't answer to my questions. What would you do with these companies that are responsible for the destruction of our planet?
Yeah, exactly. She went right after him. Oh, which one are you going to put in jail? Yeah, those Univision anchors they're much better looking than the American ones. I think that these Latina Univision anchors are much better looking than the Fox News women. No hair dye, not all the cosmetic work, they're much better looking. But she came out really tough. And she's the one, she went after Klobuchar too. This is the Latina with, a week ago, Klobuchar was the future of the Democrats, right? They were promoting her last week. Oh, yeah, it's going to be Klobuchar. She's a moderate. She's great. She looked like an idiot last night.
You're running on your Washington experience, but last week in a Telemundo interview, you could not name the president of Mexico or discuss any of his policies. Last night, you defended yourself saying, quote, "This isn't jeopardy."
This isn't Jeopardy, she said. This is not Jeopardy. I know, she sounds like the woman from Modern Family, doesn't she? This isn't Jeopardy. You're running on your knowledge, your experience. And as I was talking to Richie earlier in the last hour, I don't know who the president of Mexico is either. I know some of the things he's doing. I don't know his name offhand. But so who cares who the president is? Is it really important? I don't think. Who cares? He's insignificant. But you got to understand, in the Democrat Party, they're running for the Mexican vote. Literally. They're running for the Mexican vote. So you must know the president of the country, of the people whose vote you are trying to attract. Right? Mexico. If you go, all these foreign nationals, the illegals that are illegally voting Democrat, the president of Mexico is their president. So it's important to them. It's important to Univision. But I don't care who the president of Mexico is. I don't care who the prime minister of Canada is. It doesn't matter who they are. The president of the United States matters. See, when you're talking about the president of the United States, you just say the president. When you're talking about the president of Mexico, you've got to say the president of Mexico or the Canadian prime minister. You've got to say who they are. You got to give that little extra. You got to give the country identification because none of them are players. The president is the leader. Who cares who the president of Mexico is? Does anyone care? care.
Of Mexico or discuss any of his policies. Last night, you defended yourself saying, quote, "This isn't jeopardy."
This isn't jeopardy.
Shouldn't our next president know more about one of our largest trading partners?
Of course. Of course. And I don't think that momentary forgetfulness actually reflects what I...
She didn't forget. She just didn't know. And it's okay. I don't know. I looked the guy's name up the other day and said it on the air, but I can't remember his name. I don't know his name. She can't admit that she just didn't know. And the reality is she didn't know. I don't know. And who cares? Who cares? But, you know, she can't admit it.
About Mexico and how much I care about it.
Steve Kane show.
I just want to say greetings to President
Steve Kane?
Lopez
Yeah, hold on.
Obrador. Secondly,
Oh, she remembered the name for this.
what I meant by the game of Jeopardy is that I think we could all come up with things. You know, how many members are there in the Israeli Knesset? 120.
Oh my, now she's asking herself questions. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love Israel, but I don't know how many members are in the Knesset. I know now 120, and it doesn't matter to me how many are in. Does it matter? Oh, that was so great. Klobuchar, she's done. They're all done. It was a Hunger Game. Good morning. You're on the radio. Yes.
Am I on the air right now, sir?
You are on the air.
I was a little bit tricky when you said, I don't care who the president
Correct.
is. I figured nobody knows, right? But then you cross the line. I'm a Canadian. You cross the line when you don't know the Prime Minister of Canada. Because you got to know. He's the biggest schmuck of all.
No. I know who he is. Okay, Trudeau, but it doesn't matter. He's insignificant. You understand what I mean? The Prime Minister of Canada and the President of Mexico were both insignificant players. I know you're a Canadian, and I have no problem with Canadians, but you know, I got family in Canada. But the Prime Minister of Canada and the President of Mexico were not players.
Absolutely correct. But I want to say something. Every single thing that Prime Minister Trudeau touched, he lost. And despite the fact that I do not agree with many things that Trump does, he's a winner. Every single.
Oh, slow down. What has Trump done that you do not agree with? Because you say why? A lot of people say that. Well, I don't agree with everything he does. What has Trump done that you don't agree with?
Let me rephrase it. The way he speaks, the things he says, the way he sort of rubs people the wrong way.
Give it a specific example. What has he said that you don't like? What has he said? No, okay, okay. What has President Trump said that you don't approve of?
There's a long list of insulting tweets.
Well, give me one. Give me one issue. Give me one thing he said or tweeted that you take issue with.
When he was on the bus and he said you could grab a woman any way you like.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said at all. And by the way, that was like 10 years before he was president. That's not what he said. He said, no, it does matter. It does matter. You know, because there's a lot of people that go around and they feel that they have to disapprove of Trump before they agree and apologize for him or distance themselves from him. He did not say what you said he said on the bus. And you shouldn't feel a need to say that you don't always agree with Trump so that you have credibility with whoever you're trying to communicate with in your daily life. What he said was that women in Hollywood, okay, are so loose that if you're a celebrity, they'll let a celebrity grab them in the pee. He wasn't saying that he does it, that he did it, or that he advocates it. He was talking about how loose women are in Hollywood. And that's a very accurate statement. Look what Harvey Weinstein was doing all these years.
Horrific.
So what he was actually saying, nothing wrong with what he said. So many people are always, well, I don't agree with everything Trump says, I vote for him. What has he really said that you would take issue with? You don't disagree with the Hollywood women being floozies, do you?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
All I'm saying is, the man makes smart moves. Everything he touches, he wins. NAFTA, he wins. China, he wins. Everything he touches, he wins. And as a Canadian now residing in the U.S., I am just dumbfounded that any Democrat cannot see the reality of his victory.
Well, what I said in the beginning, beginning of this call, it doesn't matter who the Canadian Prime Minister is or the Mexican President is. You really got to look, if you look at Canada and Mexico, and you can do this for almost any country in the world, and the same applies. If we woke up today and Canada had never existed, how would the world be different?
Well,
there you go.
I think we'll hear it.
Come on. Now, we have it in America. See, America is the oldest democracy in the world. And most every democracy, including Canada, their constitution is based somewhat on ours. If it wasn't for the United States' existence, we'd still be run by kings and emperors and queens, okay? If you take most every other country in the world, out of the New World, that is, their contribution is minimal. And Canada, if Mexico never existed, how would the world be different?
Listen, Canada's under British rule. It was around before the U.S. And the little tidbit of history, Canada defeated the U.S.
Excuse me. Canada was one of the British colonies, and were too cowardly to join up with the 13 winning colonies, or you'd be part of the United States today. And it wasn't Canada that defeated us in one battle in the Revolutionary War. It was the British.
They didn't want to share that with anybody.
Yeah, well, you should have joined with the winning 13 colonies, Canada. But I didn't ask you how the world would be different if Great Britain never existed, because they gave us the United States in a way. I asked you about Canada. If Canada never existed, the world would be no different. Be no different. And you can't say that about America, but you can say it about Canada, you can say it about Mexico, and most every other country in the world. We're number one. So who cares who the president of Mexico is? Who cares who the prime minister of Canada is? All right. I just, he's in shell shock. Canada was not a country during the American Revolution. You were one of the... See, he doesn't even know his own history. Oh, my goodness. I know. I'm the ugly American. I know. All right, listen, we're coming up on the top of the hour. 2 hours down, 1 to go. We've been talking about this great debate last night. Yes. This great debate, courtesy of Mr. Bloomberg, Mayor Bloomberg, who did his job masterfully. He did great. I think Bloomberg did a great job last night for Trump. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll be back right after this.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to
I'll bash whoever I want to bash, Charlene.
I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided
Give me a break.
going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities. I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633.
We got to take breaks. That's how we pay the bills. These are paid commercials.
And tell them Lori Kane sent you.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523.
Hey guys, subscribe if you're not subscribed, all right?
This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected. Even if you already have a trust, learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. This free Living Trust seminar is Wednesday, February 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWMN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. So much going on. We're talking about this great debate. Everyone's saying Bloomberg was destroyed. He lost. He did not lose. He did not lose. No one won except Trump. No one on that stage won. They were all destroyed, all of them. Here's the thing, okay? Most of you out there know I have a mild interest in Star Wars, right? I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. In the original Star Wars movie, which everyone calls Episode 4 and all this stuff, to me, I call it Star Wars. There's a very well-known scene that even those of you who are not Star Wars fanatics like I am are aware of. C-3PO is playing chess on that holographic chessboard with Chewbacca, and he's winning. And, was it C-3PO and R2? And Han Solo comes over and says, you got to let the Wookiee win. And C-3PO says, why? And he says, because Wookiees can rip people's arms out of the socket, right? And then C-3PO said, okay, let the Wookiee win. Remember that? Said to R2, let the Wookiee win. And Chewbacca put his hands behind his head and leaned back and laughed. Yeah, that's right, let me win. Well, the Wookiee in the debate last night is Bloomberg. Yes, he's not a good debater. He's used to talking at people and not to and with people. Okay? He was destroyed last night in that little debate. He was humiliated last night. A lot of them were humiliated. He was humiliated too. But he's got $65 billion. He's bought up all the ad availabilities in all the primary states. And he is going to be targeting these people. Literally ripping their arms out of the sockets like a Wookiee. All right, do you get it? So all these people say that Bloomberg was destroyed. If Bloomberg dropped out today, he'd still win in the end. That debate last night, because he is not a man who's accustomed to being talked to that way. And he's not going to let them get away with it. Oh my goodness. And Biden even, they all went after him. Here is Joe Biden last night. Listen to this, talking about Bloomberg.
that he's done these wonderful things. Well, the fact of the matter is he has not managed his city very, very well when he was there. He didn't get a whole lot done. He had stop and frisk, throwing close to 5 million young black men up against a wall. And when we came along in our administration, President Obama, and said we're going to send in a moderator a mediator to stop it, he said that's unnecessary. So we're going to get a chance to talk about the mayor's record. But in terms of who is best prepared to beat...
Okay, now I said 5 million. How many men are in New York City? And of those men, how many are black? Are there 5 million black men in New York City to put up against a wall? I don't know what the numbers are. You know, big city. It's the big city with a lot of people in it. But this divide among Democrats is what we want. They never go after one another. Our people, you know, one of the big problems in presidential primaries with Republicans is that they destroy each other. Republicans go after Republicans and boom, destroy each other. And what typically happens, the Trump election was much different. It's an exception to the rule. But what typically happens is primary opponents in the Republican Party destroy one another in the primaries like the Democrats did last night. And then you get a candidate, you get a nominee, and they've been so damaged because of all of the Republicans eating each other alive during debates that they're either not electable or things stick with them. The most famous example of this is voodoo economics with President Reagan. This is a big one. Voodoo economics. You hear liberals, you hear college professors, that's even in college textbooks, talk about Ronald Reagan's voodoo economics. Now, what voodoo economics is trickle-down economics, which is called capitalism, right? Trickle-down economics and voodoo economics is capitalism. But anyway, voodoo economics is stuck with Ronald Reagan for 40 years. Where did it come from? It came from George Bush in the New Hampshire primary. He started talking about it, calling it voodoo economics, and it sticks to Ronald Reagan even still to this day and is in textbooks. And it was something he had to fight against in the 1980 campaign. So Democrats don't do this. That's why when some of these negative things were brought up, or not negative things, some of these hypocrisies were brought up, the audience was, ooh, ah, ooh, boo. They're not used to Democrats doing what Republicans do. See? And really, what all of these candidates did to each other last night is what the commentators are supposed to be doing, but don't, because the commentators are liberal Democrat voters, and they don't want to make their people look bad so that they're not damaged if they happen to be the nominee. Okay? So this was great last night. They're all writing Bloomberg off. Bloomberg isn't going anywhere. Bloomberg's people are putting together ads to expose Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren to a degree they've never been exposed for right now as we speak. And they're going to be on television and online any day and on radio like that. Boom. And Bloomberg's going to bring out things about them that they cannot, you know, let me play, this was my favorite moment last night when Bloomberg brought up the multiple houses of Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders screwed himself with his arrogant response. Because, you know, what happened with Bernie, I tell you this sometimes, when you're in a debate, you don't want to get angry. Over my years on the radio, the times when I've looked the worst is when I've really been angry at the person I'm talking to, whether it's a caller or whatever's going on. Anytime I've kind of lost an argument or lost a debate, or times when I've been angry, really angry. Because when you're angry, it's like being intoxicated. It's like being drunk. You lose your inhibitions and you say things that if you get to think. So Bernie had a terrible night last night. This is Bloomberg with Bernie on his houses. Oh, there we go. Hold on.
Socialism. What a wonderful country we have. The best known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here? Well,
Now, before he gives to his answer, see how the audience is disapproving of that? You're not supposed to point out the hypocrisies of the Democrats. He's a Democrat socialist. Everything belongs to... You're not supposed to point out that he's a multimillionaire with multiple homes. You see how different that debate was? This is the thing. We've been talking about Bernie's houses for years. When I say we, I'm talking about conservatives, Republicans, Trump. It's never been said by a Democrat before. Never been said by a Democrat. Okay? And that's the kind of, to point out the hypocrisies of Democrats running for president, they don't even hear you on the left unless you're a Democrat. A Democrat has never pointed this hypocrisy out to Bernie Sanders to his face until Bloomberg did last night. So while everyone's saying Bloomberg won, I think Bloomberg had one of the best moments last night, and it's this one. So let me play the whole thing because Bernie really screwed himself.
Socialism. What a wonderful country we have. The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What did I miss here?
Well, you'll miss that I work in Washington, house 1.
That's the first problem.
Live in Burlington, house 2.
That's good.
And like thousands of other Vermonters, I do have a summer camp. Forgive me for that.
He has a summer camp. Who the hell has a summer camp? 2 houses in a summer camp. Who the hell has that? Bernie just admitted it. So, don't you get... This is great. Now, and then there was Pete. Pete Buttigieg had a couple moments with Bernie. Here's one.
I think you have to accept some responsibility and ask yourself what it is about your campaign in particular that seems to be motivating this behavior more than others. Because in order to turn the page on the Trump era...
But Buttigieg is always, that's his catchphrase. He's always turning the page on things. The violence inside Bernie Sanders' campaign has been coming out from us on the right, Project Veritas, but not from a top Democrat. The violence in Bernie's campaign brought up by Pete. Now it has credibility with the left. The 3 houses, him copying to them, bragging about them, talking about some weird summer camp situation. Another Democrat, Pete, bringing up the violence on his campaign. To me, it sounds like Bernie Sanders had one of the worst nights he's ever had in a debate. But the media, see, they hate Bloomberg, so they want to declare him the one. I think Bernie had one of the worst nights. Listen to this one. This is Pete again with Bernie.
Wake up 2 weeks from today, the day after Super Tuesday, and the only candidates left standing will be Bernie Sanders and Mike Bloomberg, the 2 most polarizing figures on this stage. And most Americans don't see where they fit if they've got to choose between a socialist who thinks that capitalism is the root of all evil and a billionaire who thinks that money ought to be the root of all power. Let's put forward somebody who actually lives and works in a middle-class neighborhood in an industrial Midwestern city. Let's put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat. Look.
Now you hear that one? See that line there? Let's put someone forward who's actually a Democrat. Mayor Pete, he's talking about Bernie, who's not a Democrat. So I would say Bernie had the worst night. Bernie had, you know why he had the worst night? These examples, he had the most to lose. He's had a free ride in every debate. He was exposed so badly. Bernie Sanders was the biggest loser in last night's debate, not Bloomberg. Oh, boy. Well, I'll tell you, I know most of you are not billionaires like Michael Bloomberg. I know most of you are not millionaires like Bernie Sanders. And that means you're looking for ways to save money. And if you're in Florida, every summer, that's when you literally are throwing money out the window when it comes to the use of your air conditioning. Air conditioning is one of because it's your electric bill, is the cause of one of the biggest household expenses in Florida, especially during the summertime. And Scott from Cut My Kilowatts is on the line. And Scott from Cut My Kilowatts is in the business of cutting the kilowatt hours that you use, saving you money on your electric bill. And here he is. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. And not only do we save you money on your electric bill, but we make your home less humid, cooler, and more comfortable than it's ever been. And, a lot of people think, well, the solution is when I'm uncomfortable, is just to turn more air, lower the temperature of the air conditioning, and I'll be comfortable. But the heat and the sun, especially the sun in South Florida in the summer, is just so hot and so extreme that it heats your roof up to a point where it's heated up your roof, and then the heat waves from your roof have gone down and heated up the insulation you have in your attic, and now it's heated the ceilings of your house, and literally you're sitting in your house It's 70 degrees. You're hot. You're uncomfortable because you're absorbing all the heat, the radiant heat energy from the ceiling and the roof of your home. And literally what we can do is we can put the radiant barrier up in the attic, and it's like putting the whole house under the shade of a big tree. And a lot of people down here in South Florida will call me because they cut a big tree down because it was all over their house, but it shaded their house. They cut it down at electric bill.
Yeah.
$150, even $200.
I see that a lot.
Put the radiant barrier in, and I reverse that process. And what it really is, the radiant barrier, just to make it so simple that everyone can understand, is it literally puts your home in the shade. So if you're standing in the sun on a day that's 80 degrees and you're in the sun, you're hot and miserable. But if you're in the shade of a tree, it's a great day. And that's how it is in your house every day. If you have
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's right. And, mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, listen, call Scott, have him come over to your house for a free inspection of your attic, and you'll be very glad that you did. You really will. Call him. This number rings directly to Scott's cell phone. His number, 954-939-1500, 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. All right, Scott, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care of that, guys. Give him a call. Okay, let's finish up our break, and then we'll be right back. Much more to talk about. Don't go anywhere.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work and the incredible prices at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental. Richie the bus driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have to talk about Brighton Dental because your sponsor is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it and it went backwards in my mouth.
Oh my
front top tooth. I put it back into the socket. It felt like it was falling out. I had pain. I couldn't even eat spaghetti. And I was going to a wedding in New York 2 days later. And I said, what am I going to do? The dentist here wanted to charge me $120 just to look at it and to tell me you couldn't do anything. I went to Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. I traveled 139 miles. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Each way. Okay, the man sat and worked on my tooth for 2 hours. Put a pin in it. Put it back in place. I could eat anything I want. He said it was temporary. He did such a great job. It feels like permanent. I have no pain. I can eat anything I want now. And the fact of the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay, in New York City. He knew I was in New York.
Ignore what, Eddie?
The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants
What are we really going to ignore? I miss what you're ignoring or accusing people of ignoring.
Unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to go. I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners, you have one, Dr. Gupta, and he's been over there at Brighton Dental. He takes
I don't know what that
good
promise
care of
is.
you. He's very conscientious. Dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And,
Never trust Eddie Haskell.
Dr. Gupta.
Remember all the trouble he caused the
the
Beaver? Oh my goodness.
So pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know. If you
Giving away your age, Eddie Haskell.
The guy is so good at what he does. He's so gentle, and I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is this top shelf, and I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in. But right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for www.
All righty, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Yeah, so I disagree with everyone. Bloomberg was not the big loser last night. Bernie Sanders I think, was the biggest loser. The biggest loser. He had the most to lose, and he got hit pretty hard. Bernie Sanders, bigger loser than Bloomberg. And the number 2 loser is not Bloomberg, but I think Klobuchar. That Latina moderator went after her stupidity, and then Pete went after Klobuchar. Listen to this. Is Pete and Klobuchar.
I actually didn't know how many members were in the Knesset. So
Oh, my goodness.
But you're staking your candidacy on your Washington experience. You're on the committee that oversees border security. You're on the committee that does trade. You're literally in part of the committee that's overseeing these things. And we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb?
Yeah, well, you're not dumb, Amy. You're just uninformed. You know, listen. She's on the committee that supposedly is dealing directly with Mexico, and she doesn't know who the leader is. So how can she be negotiating with representatives from the man whose name she doesn't know? Jeez. So, no, Bloomberg was not the big loser last night. Bloomberg was the biggest loser, followed by Klobuchar. Be my take. Good morning. You're on the radio. John in Okeechobee. Long time no hear, buddy. How you been?
That Democrat debate, what a waste of time that would have been. I did watch 2 of, I want to call him President Reagan, but
Are you okay? I'm losing you. Is that your breathing problem, or is it the phone connection?
Phone's going.
Okay, I got you now. John in Okeechobee.
I watched 2 of President Trump's speech last night to California and talked to California farmer. He was thoroughly briefed on the problems going on there, scientifically and everything else.
Yeah.
Then he flew to Nevada and made some kind of thing there just to piss off Democrats.
Yes.
Then he flew to Arizona and put on a 30-minute rally. The poll of who was there included 18% of the people that actually got in the door were Democrats. 26% of the people didn't vote in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heck of a population. Be standing there for hours and hours and hours to see the president, cheer the president, be for him.
Yeah, that's right. You know, John in Okeechobee, you haven't called in a while. How have you been? We haven't heard from you. It seems like in years. Where have you been? How have you been?
Okay.
You're okay? 'Cause a lot of time when I don't, especially because you got the breathing issues, and I haven't heard from you in a long time. I just assumed you moved on to a greater place.
What is it? Left-hand side of my larynx is paralyzed from an accident from about 40 years ago.
The left side of your larynx is paralyzed? Oh, my goodness. Anything else on your body paralyzed, or just the larynx? Oh, you can't say that. You're on the radio. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. These people. You're on the radio, people. Good morning. Oh, no. Oh, boy, caught me off guard. I've been up since 2 a.m., guys. I got up at 2 a.m. to watch the debate this morning before I went on the air. Oh, my goodness. I caught him just in time. Oh, boy. Well, you know what happens? Sometimes we'll have a caller who's a regular caller, and they've got health issues, or they're older, and I don't hear from them for a long time, and I just assume they moved on to heaven, that they passed away, because that happens. That happens, I'm glad that John in Okeechobee is still with us. That's right. Oh, man. No, but I will declare Bernie the biggest loser, the number 2 loser, Klobuchar, and everyone else, I think, was kind of a draw. I think it's a draw. So this whole idea that they've labeled Bloomberg the big loser, there was zero expectation for Bloomberg. The only thing Bloomberg was there to do, he got a couple of things in, and that was it. That's all he needed to do. Oh, man. I tell you, the media, they're really, it's an interesting thing, okay, with the media, because the Democrats want Bernie out. And I've watched these debates. Out of all of the debates, last night was the first time I heard anyone point out the hypocrisies and problems with Bernie Sanders. It was Mayor Pete, and it was Bloomberg. Bloomberg with the houses, and then he owned up to them with his arrogance about having a summer camp, which I think a lot of people are like, what is that all about? And then Mayor Pete went after Bernie. He says we should have someone who is actually a Democrat. And I believe that Mayor Pete only went after Bernie because he said yesterday, or the day before yesterday, he said that he would like to get some of the Bloomberg money to support his campaign. So I think Pete went after Bernie to bond with Bloomberg for his support at some point in the future. So I don't know, how do you watch that debate and walk away with the idea that Bloomberg was the loser? Bloomberg went in with nothing, with no expectations. He's not electable, you know. But Bernie, who is electable and has a large following, had two major attacks on him that exposed him. So now all the pundits are wrong. All of them are wrong. And as I was telling you yesterday, the pundits have been wrong for 5 years. They said Donald Trump couldn't win. They said that these rallies were just people coming to see a celebrity. That, you know, remember what the big discussion was? Remember what the big discussion was in 2016? Well, these rally goers translate into voters, or they just there to see the celebrity. Remember that? When have the pundits been right in the last 5 years? Oh, the Mueller report. Oh, and Mueller test. Every bit of analysis from the pundits has been wrong for 5 years. When are you going to start listening or stop listening to these losers? Yeah, the pundits have all been wrong. So what makes you think they're so right about last night? And I'll tell you, I mentioned at the end of yesterday's show something that is turning out to be very obvious the longer this goes by, that Rod, it's not Rob, everyone's calling him Rod with a D, Blagojevich is out there working for Trump now, organizing the felon vote. You know, Trump is an amazing man. You know, there was a big move in Florida. See, Trump's putting a lot in Florida. That's why he moved here officially. Mar-a-Lago is now his residence. This is the home of the president, and I would like to see Governor Ron DeSantis change the signs on the road when you enter Florida. You are now entering the state of Florida, home of the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I'd like to see that on the highways of Florida when you enter the state. But a lot's being put into Florida, and Florida in 2016, it was on the ballot. I don't know how this passed. I voted against it, but nonviolent felons were given the vote. And this was part of the Democrats have been advocating for 20 years to give felons the vote. Because for some reason, they assume that felons will vote Democrat, which I can understand. But what does that say about their party, right? That they think criminals will vote for them. And there's a lot of truth in that, because the Democrats are, well, light on crime. They don't like to punish criminals too much. So what does Trump do? Right? He lets Rod Blagojevich, Democrat governor of Illinois at one time, out of prison, who immediately becomes an advocate for felons and their family. See, it's not just the felon vote, it's the vote of their families and their communities. Now you got Rod Blagojevich out there telling felons and their families and their communities that Trump is here for you to vote for Trump. So all this 20 years of Democrats working to give felons the vote, in particular here in Florida where they just got it, with Rod Blagojevich's commuting his sentence, Donald Trump has neutered that like you couldn't believe. And I saw him talking again yesterday, Blagojevich, and he's all he's doing is organizing the felon vote behind Trump. That's great stuff going on here. All right. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and come right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
President Trump here. Join Steve Kane and Brian Craig on
Steve
the
Kane Show.
Steve Kane Trump
Hey,
2020
John.
Victory Cruise on board the Celebrity Edge. The cruise will be to celebrate my re-election. Don't be a loser, be a winner, just like me. And join Steve Kane and Brian Craig on the Steve Kane Trump 2020 Victory Cruise.
Thank you, Mr. President. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, celebrating the victory of President Trump as we sail December 6th out of Fort Lauderdale on a 7-day Trump 2020 Victory Cruise. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Second stop, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and then St. Martin. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779, and join us celebrating the re-election of President Trump, 561-244-5779.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences.
Make sure you subscribe if you're not
including
subscribed, all right?
amputation. At the Soul Authority,
If you're new,
at little
welcome.
or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and
He didn't
your
lose,
family
Jeff.
are properly protected, even if you are
The littlest loser? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. This free Living Trust seminar is Wednesday, February 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All right. Yes, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. Time to check in with Janet from Save a Lot Nutrition Center. Hey, Janet.
Good morning, Brian. And what am I talking about today? If you're so stressed, if the news is getting you all upset, if you don't know which way to turn, come on in and talk to me at Save a Lot Nutrition Center because I have an array of natural substances, non-habit forming substances that you can use to minimize the physical effects of stress. When you're dealing with stress, it takes a toll on your heart, on your circulatory system. The chemicals your body produces take a toll on your brain. So bring the blood work. Bring any medications you're taking. Come on in and see me at Save a Lot Nutrition Center. You can call 754-307-1655 for my hours. That's 754-307-1655. I'll talk to you about GABA, about B-complex, how important the probiotics are, and an array of other natural substances that will just take the edge off the stress. Right?
That's right. And of course, Save a Lot located in Margate, just south of Sample Road on the west side of State Road 7, 441. All right, Janet, we will talk tomorrow. Okay, take care. Okay, now we got a bit of a follow-up here, off the debate for a few minutes here. Remember last week that black racist student at the University of Virginia at the Multicultural Center was saying there were too many white people there? Remember this? There's some updates. Let me see. Here we go.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable with too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay, POCs means people of color. So they have this multicultural center at the University of Virginia, and she said that there are too many white people here. It's making people of color uncomfortable. And of course, multicultural means all cultures, and those of European descent, well, that's a culture too. But I guess they're what she's advocating for is a segregated system where whites will be in one place and people of color elsewhere. Well, a group of conservatives went to the University of Virginia and interviewed students of all colors and asked them their thoughts on too many white people being in the multicultural center. And how sad their responses are. Listen to this.
You guys saw the viral video. What are your thoughts on it?
It was interesting because you could kind of take it two ways. I understand as like a person of color, like why that space is there in the first place.
Pretty much fine. Like if that space is for them, I think you should kind of agree like that. As like a white person, I guess just we have more areas where you can feel comfortable.
This is so scary. There are areas where we can be. There's plenty of places for white people. Can you? What's happening here is minorities are becoming segregationist at the University of Virginia. And what they have in common with the segregationists of yesteryear is that they're all Democrats. They were Democrats then, and the segregationists today are Democrats. But the segregationists back in the 50s, 40s, 60s, they all said there's plenty of places for black people to be on the other side of the tracks in their areas. They've got plenty of places to go and roam and hang out. Not in our places. And now we have minorities saying the same thing. Listen to these students.
Feel comfortable in those other areas. It's nice for them to have a space where they do feel comfortable.
Mindful that it is a space where students of color go to be comfortable and to feel safe and supported. And when there's white students that are in there doing something that could be perceived as disrespectful, I mean, you have to understand that could be hurtful.
Wow. Being there and being white can be hurtful and is disrespectful. Just to be there and be white is to be disrespectful to students of color. Have they even heard the history of the civil rights movement and what the black codes were and what happened to blacks that were out in areas they weren't supposed to be in, according to the Democrats back then? Oh my goodness. Being white and is enough to make people uncomfortable, therefore they shouldn't be there. Well, how talk about racial profiling. These are the same people that are against stop and frisk, right? What they're talking about here at the University of Virginia is a form of stop and frisk. White people should not be permitted in certain areas because they're white.
I think white people need to be aware of the fact that it's not a space for them and make sure that
Now keep in mind, this is the multicultural center, which means all cultures are welcome, including European.
When they're entering their space or that space, they're not taking up the space for other people of color that want to use it.
Wow.
Multicultural space.
Okay, now this is interesting. White people need to be mindful not to be taking up space that a student of color wants. Yeah, like Rosa Parks was in a seat for a white person on the bus, and a white person boarded the bus, and the driver said, "Get on the back of the bus, Rosa Parks. This is a safe space for white people on the bus," and she wouldn't do it, and gave birth to the civil rights. They don't even understand what they're saying, these kids. There needs to be a major intervention at the University of Virginia. Go back a little bit, because that's exactly what he's saying.
White people need to be aware of the fact that it's not a space for them and make sure that
Just like the front of the bus, Rosa Parks. This is not a space for you, Rosa Parks. Your space is at the back of the bus.
sure that when they're entering their space or that space, they're not taking up the space for other people of color that want to use it.
Wow.
A multicultural space and it doesn't look multicultural, then the multicultural people at UVA feel less comfortable here.
I think that...
Millennials and young people today are all into feeling comfortable. They believe that they have some type of constitutional right to feel comfortable, and that if they feel uncomfortable, you're violating their... I feel uncomfortable all the time. Do any of you? But I get our rights. If you're feeling uncomfortable, your rights are being violated.
UVA's statement was ridiculous, and that it's a multicultural student space, and that white people need to be aware of the spaces that they occupy on grounds, and that we need to all be aware of.
Wow. White students need to be aware of the space they are occupying. Well, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Black people need to be aware of what side of the tracks they're on here in Alabama. That's right. Segregation now, segregation for... I mean, what? These are college students. What are they learning in school today? Have they not learned anything about the era of segregation?
The kind of
I don't know, the way that we occupy spaces around everything, and I think that she had a good point, and she wasn't aggressive. She was very clear and concise with what she said, and she had a good point.
Do you think that the Multicultural Student Center should be reserved for students that are minorities?
I think that it's a space where it's multicultural, so it's designated to be a multicultural space, and I think that more people of color are safe there.
Okay, so they don't, this isn't how, these are stupid kids. I mean, these are very stupid people. They don't understand what multicultural means. Multicultural means multicultures, all the cultures. They think it means black and brown. By the way, are Asians allowed in the Multicultural Center? Or is it just black and Hispanics? I don't know. They didn't ask about Asians there at the University of Virginia. European culture, being white is part of European culture, if you want to go back far enough, and that is one of the multicultures at University of Virginia, which the center is for.
Safe there, and feel more safe there, yes, I do.
Should white people be allowed in the MSC?
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is that it felt like a safe space, and now it does not feel like a totally safe space for people who do not feel safe outside of that.
See, this is interesting. So why is it unsafe? We're talking about college students here. Why is it not safe if there is a white student sitting in the multicultural center doing what the other students do, studying, socializing? Why are they unsafe because there's a white student there? Are white people inherently violent? Why are they afraid of white people walking behind them in the student center? There's another reference, right? Remember, was it Jesse Jackson that said he gets nervous when he's got a black man walking behind him on the sidewalk, right? I shouldn't laugh. These are the future leaders of the Democrat Party we're hearing from. These are all college students at the University of Virginia.
I think that as a white person, I don't want to say that I should be allowed anywhere, and I think it should be up to those organizations to decide.
Oh, so this is interesting. So this girl, she's a white girl. This white girl believes that white people should only be permitted where minorities allow us to be. We should go to minorities and ask them where we are allowed to be, where we are allowed to sit, where we are allowed to gather. And if they say that we as white people are not allowed there, we should say, okay, find a place where we are allowed.
So should white people be allowed in those spaces, or should it just be?
Those spaces, most definitely.
Because I'm just going back to the video where she said that there were too many white people.
She said, see, like when you take that exact phrase out of context.
Yeah, put it in context.
I don't know if she said that exactly.
And frankly, there's just too many white people in here.
See, is a place for people of color and like multicultural students.
Yeah, you know what? The lunch counter are for white people. The front of the bus is for white people. The bus stations are for white people. That's what the Democrats said back then. You know, I wish the Martin Luther King's family weren't such sellouts and could come out and talk about the dream of Martin Luther King and go to the University of Virginia and explain what Martin Luther King's dream was to them. Because it's been lost at the University of Virginia.
Together, and so they kind of want that to be like a safe space for them, but also like you don't want it to be exclusive and like feel like, I guess, white people are like being ostracized.
Oh, finally.
Like that space, so it's kind of like a tough balancing act.
They need to be cognizant of the space that they're taking up.
Wow. White people need to be cognizant of spaces we are taking up. Goodness.
And I think that that's a very valid point because this university is full of history.
You know, here in Florida, during the era of segregation, this was Democrat state. And Fort Lauderdale Beach, which I believe is the most beautiful beach in all of America. I love that beach. I grew up on that beach. When you go to Fort Lauderdale Beach at A1A in Las Olas, that beach used to be a white beach. Blacks were not permitted on the Fort Lauderdale Beach. And there's a plaque there right by the entrance of the beach, by the showers, just south side of where the showers are to wash the sand off your feet. And everybody walks by this plaque and they never read it. And I don't recall the year. Next time I'm down there, I'll take a look at the year But the Democrats said that the beaches were for white people, that people of color were not permitted. And blacks went down there en masse during the Martin Luther King era and went to the beach. And they laid out on the beach. And it was a segregated beach. There were places that were for white people that black people were not allowed in. White people were allowed everywhere. It was blacks that weren't allowed in certain places. This is beyond just reverse racism. This is a sickness that's going on at the University of Virginia, and God help their parents. If one of these people being interviewed was my child, I'd pull him out of the school and bring him back home.
Basically oppressing people of color, and so it's very hard for people to have a space where they feel like safe, and the MSC is a place where we feel safe.
And I can't speak for racial minorities specifically since I don't identify.
So do you think that white people should be allowed in the MSC?
I think that people can be allowed in the MSC, but I think that they need to be coming in to engage with cultures.
Oh, okay. And if you're white, you're not engaging with cultures, you're counterculture, you're not permitted. This is sad. And I'm sorry that I laughed. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but that is sad. And it's unfortunate that that's not getting much attention in the news. I know some conservatives on the radio are probably going to play that audio today like I just did. And I hope they make the comparisons I did. These students are saying everything word for word that the segregationists were saying during the civil rights era, except the segregationists are now black, right? And they want to segregate white people, and they don't even know it. How can you be a black student in America in college and not know the history of the civil rights movement? Well, you've gone to the public school system, that's how. You've gone to the public university, and they've brainwashed you, is what they've done. And these are kids who grew up, who was their president? Barack Obama. So that's Obama's America right there. All right, let's take our last break of the day. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Run down? Struggling with your sex life or weight control? Dr. Mattez can fix it. Call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490 or visit their website at brc4am.com.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price of Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. with the Morning Gold Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Exciting things in the precious metals markets over the last week, and we see gold pushing higher again. Yesterday, pushing up to and through well through the 1,600 number, closing at $1,611.30, which was up $10.10 for yesterday. Silver was up 25 cents, closing out the day at $18.40 the ounce, while platinum was up $16, finally closing above that $1,000 number at $1,006. And palladium gaining $99 yesterday at $2,615. We saw at one point palladium get up close to $3,000 an ounce yesterday. This morning we got gold up $4.70. We did hit a high so far, a new high actually, in this rally of $1,619.60 this morning. Right now, gold trading at $1,616. That's up $4.70. Silver is backing off a little bit, down 10 cents at $18.30 the ounce. Platinum is down $21, still having a hard time staying above that $1,000 number at $985, and palladium is down $21 after yesterday's $100 move. Currently at $25.94. The dollar continues to be practically at record highs right now, and that's interesting in light of the fact that gold has set new highs also, and that means that there's a lot of money going into gold as a fear metal, and also concerns over the economy going forward as a result of this virus in China and the slowdown in the economy there, as well as production of goods and services around the world.
You know, these numbers are what is driving palladium? That's crazy numbers with palladium. What is driving palladium up so much? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's just old-fashioned supply and demand, which is what's doing it. Well, listen, give William Youngman a call. These prices are just, this is out of this world what's going on here. His number, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com. And, of course, you can stop in, located in Boca, just immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, in the lobby of the Bank of America building. William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. Take care. Yes, yes, yes. Supply and demand, what Bernie Sanders hates, what Elizabeth Warren hates. They hate that supply. It's capitalism is what it's called, and they hate it. Yeah, so, you know, just to recap as we get to the final moments of the show, which, by the way, has flown by. You know, I was talking earlier, I woke up at 2 a.m. because I went to bed early, and I wanted to watch the debate. And not only do I have to watch the debate, I want to watch it, but I want to get the audio sound bites that I want to use from it. So I got up at 2 a.m. to watch the debate this morning and get the audio sound bites, and I'm so glad I did. You know, typically, these Democrat debates are just terminally boring, aren't they? And people are saying this and that about the debate. No one's saying it's boring, is it? Oh, yes. President Trump just made history again. Let's not forget about it. That's right. President Trump names, the first openly gay man to be the head of intelligence. Isn't that something? Oh, yeah. Wasn't any of these Democrats that did it. It wasn't Obama. It wasn't Clinton. No. Grinnell. It was Donald Trump. You know, this is what I was talking about. At the beginning of the show, I was talking about Trump. You know, Trump is not the stereotype of a Republican. The stereotype of a Republican, and, you know, for a stereotype, most stereotypes have some shred of truth. You know, and one of the stereotypes of Republicans of prior to the coming down the escalator by the president and first lady is homophobic. They don't like gays. And there's a lot of truth in that. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. The Republicans have been advocating against gays for a long time, and I'm debating the issue. I'm for gay rights. I know a lot of you conservatives aren't. But Donald Trump is not your dad's Republican. You know what I'm saying, right? He's a new kind of Republican, very conservative, but he doesn't get himself labeled with that. And then here he is. He's just made gay history. In fact, the head of intelligence, this may be the highest presidential appointment ever made of an openly gay person. Okay? Who has been openly gay appointed by a president that had a position this high. I'm talking about openly gay. I'm not talking about rumored. Someone you think, I'm not talking about Janet Reno or something like that. Did Janet Reno ever come out? I don't think so. So, I mean, that's an amazing thing. I'm racking my brain. Now, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I got up early, but, I got the hormone replacement pellets, so that helps. But I'm racking my brain. I cannot think of anyone who has been openly gay, appointed by a president, to such a high level. And this is a job that is very important to President Trump because the intelligence community, were people that have been after him, right, all along. And for him to appoint Grinnell to be the head of intelligence, that's somebody that he trusts, he has confidence in. This isn't just okay, let me try to get some good press, let me appoint a gay guy. That's not what he did. He appointed this guy for a whole bunch of reasons. Being gay was none of them. He just did it, okay? It just so happens he's gay. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And I'm really thinking, and again, not rumored gay, openly gay. So there you go, Trump, the gays should be celebrating Trump. And you know what? Pete Buttigieg should be asked about this. This is a very fair question of Pete Buttigieg. But you think Buttigieg will be happy about that? He should be, right? Buttigieg is a gay rights activist of sorts. First openly gay man to be running for president, I think, in the Democrat Party. But this is huge. This is huge. And let me tell you, everything that was going on with Vindman and the FISA warrant, this is such an important position of Donald Trump. You know that he didn't do it just to have some PR move. You know he did this for the right reasons. All right, guys, well, we're almost out of time. I got to tell you, if you don't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I live stream the radio show each and every day on YouTube. And I know I've done live streaming elsewhere over the years, but you can now catch the Steve Kane Show on YouTube. It's Brian Craig on YouTube. I also upload my podcast to YouTube. And if you miss a part of the show, you can go on YouTube and catch the part that you missed, because all 3 hours of the show are live streamed and archived right there on YouTube each and every day. It's Brian Craig on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe, all right? And take a look at the great... I did a little redecorating with... Trump gear here in the studio a couple days ago. So if you've not seen it yet, go on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube, subscribe. And by the way, it's free. I know they say subscribe. It's completely free. And then you'll, you get to see us live. You get to see me and Steve live stream the radio show. And it's in high definition. A lot of people watch the show because on YouTube, you can watch it on your phone, your iPad, your computer, but a lot of people, you can get YouTube on your TVs these days. I watch YouTube on my television at home, and a lot of listeners watch us on TV each and every day on YouTube. It's Brian Craig on YouTube. All right, everyone, take care. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m. Again, my name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. Take care, and we'll talk tomorrow.
President Trump here. Join Steve Kane and Brian Craig on the Steve Kane
The unmute button, that is true. That is true, Chuck. When my mic is on, it mutes this speaker. Like this commercial's playing, I'm going to turn my mic on. Mic off. You can hear it. Mic on. So what I try to do when I'm talking to a caller is when they're talking, I'll turn my mic off so you can hear them. But sometimes we're talking too fast, I forget. See, watch, I'll turn my mic on again. And I have my earphone in so I can hear it, you know. 561-244-5779. That's why it does that. 561-244-5779, and join us celebrating the re-election of President Trump. I do, yeah. 561-244-5779. 95.3. All right, guys, I'll see you later. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, all right? Take care. Thanks for watching.